Lost Mammoth Valley
Bum, bum, bum.
is the thing that we have been seeking for quite some time, ever since we first heard anything back at Red Cat Cave, and perhaps even before that. That's what Grandfather Sven had tried to guide us to with his final moments. What is it, what it means, and even specifically where it is are, I guess, still unknown. We're trusting
I think
hundreds, if not thousands-year-old cave painting on a ceiling.
we can answer all those questions.
I mean,
You
honestly,
can
It's
put
a pass
answers
in the mountain.
onto the question.
It's in front of us, and it serves as a passage.
But do you know that any or all of those are correct?
I do know that
no.
Colby's going to blind trade me.
We don't know. We have been escaping the Burning Mammoths for months now on the run since the night of the Green Moon. The one that heralded in the dawn of the spring. And now, as we have wound through to the later weeks of the season, with summer rapidly approaching, the climate around us has hardly changed as we have marched ever higher up into these peaks far out to the east of our ancestral lands. And last week, we made it to the mouth of Rimecrag Pass, a valley unknown to our people for generations, one perhaps once traveled by our following long, long before the schism that split off the Broken Tusks. But now, whether it is passable or safe or even leads to anything of value, we're not sure.
Just got real intense for a second there.
One brief moment of very loud music.
Pretty sure we're all going to die.
Is Sirenscape broken?
No, I was trying to fix something.
Oh, okay.
Listening to the sound system.
Fair enough. We'll get the Sirenscape on here in a moment because, everything's broken. But before we get into today's
the way.
adventure, that one's not Sirenscape's fault. We just, I think, forgot to download a sound set. Thank you to Paizo for sponsoring these last two seasons of The Hook, for our Age of Ashes show prior, for all the shenanigans that we have had here, and of course making the game and the book that we're doing too. This adventure pack is honestly super freaking awesome. I will admit, I am not personally a huge snowy Viking land flavor enthusiast. Really?
This one has magic.
That's really specific.
But this is freaking awesome, actually. This adventure has hella won me over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was not a huge personal fan of the theming at first, but I would encourage you to give it a try regardless of your opinions
I
on
think
that.
it helps. It doesn't lean too heavily into that theming.
It leans as much into it as you want it to, really,
Yeah.
which I think we've gone decently hard onto it. It's just really well put together and presented that it's spectacular. I'm a huge fan of it.
I've always enjoyed spectral felines.
As we come back in today on the outside of Rimecrag Pass, the last thing we had discussed with our Mammoth Lords was the following. We didn't want to divide too far. The pass creaks and groans before us, thunderclaps emanating out as snowpacks and ice banks shift and move, echoing through this chasm before us. You would have had time in the morning to prepare. And I believe we settled on the following was going to stay somewhere around a half mile
Yep.
Yeah.
behind the group of you.
So one avalanche doesn't take out
Yeah.
literally everything.
Ideally, an avalanche does not destroy the whole of the concept of the Broken Tusks.
Just spread them out thin.
Yep. We're going to be the frozen.
File line.
Readied and prepared as we really can be. Well, we could be a little more prepared. Hanwi could have another hero point.
Ooh,
I like
Chef
it.
ZJSA.
We might need it.
Make
Ja.
way. Coming through. That sounds like something Hanwi does a lot of.
Especially when you turn it
I mean, does she not when she turns into a leopard and just
Yeah.
runs at people? That absolutely sounds like the thing that Hanwi does.
100% true.
As you said that, I detected a hint of sarcasm in your voice. Sir,
you want a
I'll
blind
have you
trade?
know,
That's what
the
I'll
last...
Oh, Amka wants this?
Do you want to blind trade?
Amka wants to make way backwards.
You want to trade with me?
I want to trade with you.
You do.
I'll trade with you.
You definitely want to trade with
I'll
me.
trade with you. Let's see what I got.
So, the morning's preparations behind you. The following going to give you a decent amount of headway, as they always do, but not nearly as much as normal. The camp is already being packed and bundled as you all prepare to make your way into Rimecrag Pass. Now, as you approach the area, I described it briefly last week. I'll throw it out there again just to set the scene here. You have come to the base of some of the greatest of the peaks in the Mammoth Ridge here. One rising up a little bit to your left to the north, forming one side of Rimecrag Pass, a huge snowy bluff with an incredibly sheer side of largely flat, almost vertical stone, ice, and snow, packed up in a massive wall extending what must be hundreds of feet overhead. The pass before you is frozen, and looking forward in some places, what you can see of how it jerks its way through this crack in the earth, just wide enough to walk the mammoths of the herd through comfortably. The walls of the cliff itself are sheer up to anywhere from 30 to 50 to 100 feet overhead as the pass goes forward. Again, just rock and ice, but jagged as they ascend, sometimes climbing 10 feet to a strange, almost enclosed shelf before shooting up once more. And you can see these little inlets, these little holes, these voids in the stone, pock-marking the wall as they make their way through. Was there anything, or rather, instead of asking that, let me ask it this way. As you prepare to head forward this morning, everything that you know, everything that has guided you so far over this last spring leads you to believe this is the gateway to Lost Mammoth Valley. And as you're ready to head out, Hanwi, how was your morning? What does it look like?
So, it's pretty typical, actually. Hanwi is very careful to kind of maintain social connections. She goes around and talks to the following, checks in on their family, sees how things are going. She's always been real social and keep making sure that she's very involved in the makings of the following since she's a relatively newcomer. She's only been here a few years. Also, it's how she's able to like drop little suggestions like, hey, maybe
make a bunch of
making a bunch of
landmines?
traps and leaving them behind us could be a cool idea, kind of thing. And so she keeps doing that because she genuinely likes these people, and she wants to make sure even though she's never here anymore because she's been scouting, that she still kind of keeps her eye on things.
And due to your, I'm going to say origins, especially during your early time with the following, you had found yourself very much a degree of an outsider. Mm-hmm. Not that any of the Tusks were unfriendly or cold towards you, but I don't know, it was almost more like they would treat you more like Henry than a person. Mm-hmm. As if they were cautious. They were a degree of guarded, not wanting to engage too aggressively or to anger what might be a fickle fey creature, a spirit of nature as far as they know. But
I fell for it the first time they asked me, how are you in Sylvan? I answered back, and I immediately
they got you with the bait.
Oh, God.
But with the years that have passed, and especially the last few months, you are no less a Tusk than anyone at this table or anyone born into the tribe. And you have found yourself much more welcomed, much more warmly even. I'm going to jump across Amka, because Lucitios has a hero point for our favorite cleric. I'm sure I butchered that name, but I don't know how to say that. I tried. Please
I
don't.
think Lucitios is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
It's a cool.
the best.
It's a cool antagonist name.
Called foe. I'm coming for you.
Nice.
That's an Amka special right there.
That's some trade bait right there.
I want statistically every time I attack, I either fail horribly or roll minimum damage.
Amka, what is your morning?
My morning is pretty much like Hanwei's. It's more the same, but this time with renewed vigor. Morning rituals, praying to Sister Cinder, waking up with the first light. The light, make sure fires are going for people who need fires in the morning to cook, and talking to anyone who comes to me, offering guidance and prayer to them, and just kind of stilling myself and getting ready for this. This is insane. This sounds terrifying. So,
and even as you prepare this morning, as the camp usually would be starting to be packed, is already packed, and many of the tusks mingling, ready to go, bearing their loads, you still hear these errant thunderclaps echoing through the pass, bouncing off of the stone and the ice walls like a rolling storm somewhere inside the mountains, knowing that these sounds may be, I don't know if harmless is the right word, it's just the sounds that come out of the top of a great peak weighed down by hundreds of tons of snow and ice, like it just happens.
it's terrifying.
But it is certainly unsettling. Verja.
Making sure that all the early morning heavy lifting, all the packing of the tents, getting all the animals sorted, all of the harder tasks, running around and making sure that they all get done quicker than normal. Checking on some of perhaps the elderly or the weaker of the tribe, making sure everybody has what they need, and if it's a bit much for them to move quickly, moving it to someone else.
Fair enough. And Aram?
Aram is gonna go see Urgula and the babies.
The baby.
Urgula, I don't know what today is going to hold, but I know that our purpose is to keep the tribe out of danger, and that there's a better than usual chance that we might never meet before the fire again.
What is this nonsense? After everything you have gotten through, everything that you and the rest of the otters have survived in this season, this is the time when you doubt yourself?
I don't doubt myself, but if anything does happen to me, I want you to give this to the youngest of the triplets. This was Grandfather Sven's. He gave it to my great-grandmother as a gift on their wedding, and I want them to have it. It's the future of our tribe, and they should hold on to it for me. It'll bring them good luck and let them know that I'm with them, even if something happens.
Thank you, Aram. I will keep it close and keep it safe. And
Thank you, my friend.
as it passed, I suppose, from Sitka, it can pass to her once more when the time is right.
As it should be. Good luck.
Good luck for me.
You've got the 3.
And all the help of an entire house for it. I've little ahead of me other than walking through a valley, and we've been walking for weeks. But Ozosh, wherever you are, how's your morning?
Well, after I wake up and have my morning routine of, my workout, my meditation, and my tea, I go out and
Man's in the zone.
Huh?
Said man's in the zone.
I have to have a balance of a strong mind and body, as well as spirit. But other than that, I would probably be helping Verja with some of the heavy lifting, and in between that, whatever it's socially or just for morale's sake, I try and keep everyone's spirits up with some stories and songs, and maybe even help the children get out of the way for the adults to prepare for moving and whatnot by entertaining them and whatnot. And I think that's pretty much it. Just preparing myself.
You would be, none of you linger much in the morning. You are the scouts for the following. You're usually out with the sun, if not before. And this morning is no exception. Though it seems a fair shake darker, given the sheer walls of the canyon before you. The snows atop these mighty peaks, catching the sun far before the veils down below. And with this almost flattened side dropping down into Rimecrag, reflecting almost a dazzling, sparkling array of beams from the morning's shattered light across the pass a few dozen feet overhead. As the group of you move forward, what are we doing? We'll go around there. We'll start with those, Ash.
I suppose shield up and keep my eyes open.
Avalanche.
Shield up. Up here. Umbrella shield. Aram?
Seeking. Aram does not want to put a step bad today. He is keeping an eye out for anything that looks unsteady or unsafe so that he can give a warning. So he's a little out in front.
Fair enough. Verja.
Scouting. I'm walking, looking at the cliffs, getting ready for potential, breaks and cracks and stuff. Don't touch that.
You got a great number also of these, almost ledges up 8 to 20 feet above the ground floor of the pass here. These small little divots and caverns all throughout the walls.
No.
And from the ground, it's near impossible to see up into them. Many of them appear to be shallow, and
They all appear to be no's.
We're not going up there. Leave that alone. Don't bother with it. Amka.
Well, one note before we all actually take off. Amka calls the group together for a quick prayer. Remember when we hunted the moose? There was a little ritual. She pulls out from her bag a little bowl of ashes. And it's I like to mark for safety and guidance as she just puts it on the back of each person's hand. It is, Amari, it is from the hearth of the camp. It brings good fortune and safety from Sister Cinder herself.
If I may. And she's going to actually put her 3 fingers into the ash and actually smear her eye sockets with them.
Wait. Eye socket.
What?
Yeah. You ever seen those TV shows where they apply eyeshadow with a dish sponge? That's what it looks like.
Eye socket, I think of behind the eyelids where the eyeball rests.
She's not. I'm
He's not
sure she's not
wrong.
shoving it
bones.
into her
I
eye.
have to
hole.
ask
Ash my
eyelids.
bones.
It's just when I hear eye socket, I don't think of
Very
this
good.
area.
Yep.
The light glinting off of the ice, it can blind you if you're not careful and you look at it too quickly.
Well, then Sister Cinder protects. I think we should all do the same then.
Sounds good to me. Anything to protect.
And then, other than that, I'm going to be recalling knowledge. Just keep an eye out. I've heard stories. I've never been in that area like this particularly exactly, but
Right.
we've heard stories, and I'm pretty sure I'm confident in my ability to recall that.
Looking at my butt, aren't you?
And seeking.
Seeking.
Yeah, because I just
Using-
shaded my eyes down so it'll cut down on the glare.
Using the eyes, trying to find anything that might be concerning. Fair.
Staring at my backside.
As the group, you are literally in front. It's not possible.
Except from behind.
You move your way into the pass, and as the walls rise up around you, the ground is still frozen snow, or frozen ice rather, frozen stone, even as summer is near approaching. In some places, it is fraught with thin patches of almost invisible slicks, making your passage through here some degree of slow going, even though it seems like it will be wide and straightforward enough for a small party to forage forward. To ensure nobody is caught unawares, Verja, I'm sure, is very cautiously checking everything around, and that nobody is injured falling on a rock before they could even make it into Rimecrag Pass.
Also, Barthen is my prey.
Okay. Things do not go particularly quickly. I think you need to have literally some evidence of him. It's not like a case. It's close to a case.
What I'm
but
saying is we kind of have a good idea. You said yes. You said the last session
Did
that
I?
we were
Okay,
pretty
then
sure
you can
he
make
came
him.
before here. So we are pretty sure we're chasing
Well, you're
him
pretty sure because
directly.
you heard about him a while ago from some guys. I think you need it's a degree of physical tracking thing. If
not
you
like an
found
investigator.
yeah, it's not if you found any degree of evidence, any footfalls or something, it's not I know this guy, he's my prey. It's
You
I
heard
see
his
this,
small
whatever
laugh.
that is, that's my prey. Which you could know what it is, but you would need something because you're not tracking anything. You have nothing to prey. You just don't like Barthen. Like you always have that. That's a passive.
Hatred.
I just want him.
As you move in, there would be little company here. You wouldn't hear the errant sounds of wildlife flitting around the plains, see the jackrabbits, the small wolpertingers, even much of the birds alighting through the branches in the trees. Here in this stone canyon would be largely barren with very, very little movement or even sounds other than your own going, save for these occasional cracking rolls of shifting ice and snow. You would come around a few corners as this canyon winds a little bit of a way. And after maybe half a mile, where behind you the following is just starting to enter the pass, you would pass by a ledge, maybe like one of those 10 feet off of the ground, with a trio of ravens just sat up upon it. And as you see this, still hemmed in on both sides by snow, the biggest raven in the center, as they all kind of just sort of look down towards you as birds do, cocks its head, sort of does that thing. You know the crows, they just sort of open their mouth, just
Yep.
when they're just looking at stuff. I don't know what that is, but it does that thing. Then clicking its beak a couple of times, a voice comes out. Well, I like the looks of you far better than the last group of noisy, fire-besotted humans.
Is that a talking bird?
How many more people are you planning to bring through my mountain pass?
You're a talking bird.
Around
Henry?
Well, we're leading our following and trying to find safety. The people that ahead of us, I believe, I know the type. They're hoping to ambush us here and stop our progress. I hope they didn't cause you any trouble.
Me? None? No. I sit upon my roost and I watch. It's just interesting. So many passing through at one time.
Are you from
And
the moon?
the raven kind of like steps forward and almost sits down, putting its little legs out in front of it, its little bird butt on the rock. And as it sits, its legs start to grow and extend, and the core of its torso spreads up, the feathers splitting, fanning out around the kind of a big collar, almost like what, well, Derp and Jen here have as their custom, large collar of these feathers, but still continuing down the arms and in two large black wings behind. This feathered growth continues up to a hood that goes up the back of the creature's head almost all the way down to its nose, leaving very little actual visible facial features, save for a wide, thin mouth and all of this visible pale blue skin.
Hanwi, is that like the bird version of you?
Could be.
And Verja, happy finale day of GM for Life.
Interesting.
Spark of courage. You don't scare me.
Are you from the moon?
From the moon? No, I'm from this mountain. It's where I have roosted for many, many of your seasons.
Ruth, we didn't ask for a name.
Well, thank you for meeting with us. I'm Hanwi of Otterhouse.
I'm Amka-un of the same.
Verja Skolda.
There are so many of you human people. You travel in packs so large. Much of your day in the sun must be spent sharing your names with others.
We remember.
I am Iraka,
Raka.
if you
Are you like
must call me.
a talking bird person? Like, what are you?
I am Iraka.
Yeah, but like, I'm not used to birds talking to me and
don't
then
be rude.
turning into a person. Like that's just odd, right? Like, right?
No.
Not at all.
We-
I do it often enough.
Yeah.
Compared to some
and
things that we've seen.
you were a
Just
little
saw-
odd.
You just saw a talking horse that turned from person to horse.
Yeah, but I knew what that was.
And you will know what this is eventually.
At any rate, we are a bit concerned about the the group that came ahead of us. I suspect they don't mean us well. I don't suppose you saw where they went.
They continued down the pass. They seemed quite committed to whatever avalanche they were trying to bring about.
Are you a fae? In Sylvan?
Just kind of cocks her head your direction. There are many languages of humans. How many need I know?
Okay, good.
It's a test that
Sorry.
we have.
I'm relieved.
And
Okay.
then in Sylvan, because this is about the limit that I can hold, I'm afraid.
Told you! Speaks it.
How many were in the group ahead of us?
Oh, I don't know. 6, 8, 10, maybe?
Oh, that's a good number.
They seek to bring the avalanche down. It could clog the pass and make our lives very difficult.
12 or 15?
I'll go with 6.
15?
There were a decent number of them. All fraught about with their red scars and their bright torches.
That's them.
We know them.
They
Where'd they
were an
go?
unsettling group.
Where'd
that
they
much
go?
is sure.
You said that they were trying to bring down avalanches. Do you have an idea how?
Well, I imagine with a great amount of fire, they sure brought plenty of kindling.
Did you see which way they went?
It's amazing. Do you manage to get often to destinations without even forgetting why you were there?
There's only one way.
Arm is just distracted. We've had difficult dealings with people who appear to be of the natural born of the land.
Just testing you.
You test? Well, I do not know of any tests. I'm not prepared for any tests. This is my home.
No,
Why would I be confronted with testing here? It is you who intrudes.
Good.
We have come
Okay.
across many hostile fae,
That's a good answer.
and we developed a short means of identifying ones that wish us harm.
I assume would it be all right with you if we passed our following through here?
Oh, I have no concerns about who goes and comes through the pass around the mountain or even climbs it.
You're very kind. Thank you.
It is not my mountain. I simply roost upon it.
I am curious. Well, I'm worried, actually. Those who came before us mean us a great deal of harm, and we've come to blows with their scouts before. I am concerned about what they bring, but you said they are attempting to bring down an avalanche with fire by setting fires to the
I just
snow?
heard them muttering
I
amongst
see.
themselves, and the one they call champion. He has a lot of words to say to his people.
I'm sure he does.
like to talk a lot.
Can I see any sign of where they passed just around here? Like Arm will start kind of making his way around looking for anything to show that they passed this way.
You start looking around. The floor is very interesting to that one. It is but stone.
Well, if he can find traces of those who came before, we may be able to follow them and stop them from dropping avalanches down.
You have a strange friend. Is he one of them?
No,
He's just strange.
They were strange folk, to be sure.
he's a different
And,
kind of strange.
At this point, you see a figure. You almost hear a couple little shifts of small bits of stone and rubble behind you in the pass, approaching extremely rapidly. In the span of about a second, you can just barely hear it, and then it's a few hundred feet away, and then right behind you. And then a figure comes almost tumbling out of the stone directly before you.
Quick drawing an
Large,
arrow in
lang-
its face.
What?
I'm quick drawing an arrow.
Okay, roll me an attack roll.
No, I'm quick drawing it. I'm not
Quick draw
attacking.
Quick draw
comes with an
shoots.
attack.
Yeah, quick draw requires draw and strike.
You can draw your bow.
then I'm gonna
but,
draw
like,
it. That's
Okay.
fine.
I'm like, you could absolutely
I'm,
do
I
that.
meant
Like,
quickly draw my bow.
oh, okay.
I'm just immediately having my shield up ready.
But in a small little spray of scree and fur, this little creature scrambles on the floor. Wait! And you see Henry sort of stand
Henry!
up. It's her. It's
Jeez.
her. It's her. You told me. You told me this rock would have a purpose. And he pulls out
Scared me.
the small little green gemstone that he got handed back at the night of the green moon.
This is who he
Months
was
ago.
talking about.
And like it just holds it up with both hands. She's on a cliff, like 10 feet up, just kind of sitting on the edge of it, her little feet dangling over the side. And Henry's not a large guy, so it's a little comical, the distance here.
Oh, Henry, is this the lady that you spoke of?
Please. From the moment I laid eyes upon you, I knew that you were the love of my life, the light of the stars or the moon or whatever she told me.
Hey, she sent a bunch of birds after us and tried to peck us to death.
I
believe
don't
that
think
was
she
her.
did that.
And she just cocks her head.
I'm afraid it's true. Ever since he laid eyes on you, he's been desperate to see you again.
Puts the arrow away.
I've never been, well, presented with such a committed and generous and seemingly thoughtful offer. And Henry's eyes kind of go wide. Well, he just pulls the rock down and looks at it. This is the greatest rock. This is the greatest rock that I've ever found in all of my years. Please,
Wait, you're
I
like
offer you this, as they offered it to me. It is a beautiful piece, a symbol of my undying love for you. It is stone. It never fades. It never dulls. It may wear, but it is always what it still is at its core. It never loses its luster or its beauty, regardless of its shape or its form or the time. He just kind of looks at Bahami and just nods.
You know, penguins do this too.
And
Truly, he's been smitten ever since he saw you. He spent months trying to find the perfect offering for you.
Hiraka spreads her arms out and just sort of hops down off of this, almost gliding down kind of gently to the ground right in front of Henry. And she is about a full-size human's worth of size. So he is like down, so she is way bigger than him. And she just sort of leans down,
Oh, all right, Cadus.
bending all the way over, and takes this little stone out of his hand, this little green, semi-precious bit of gem. I cannot imagine that I would refuse such a raw and thoughtful profession of your emotion. But what do I call you? And he's like, Henryson? Are you two names? I'm simply Ziraka. Oh, then probably just Henry then is fine. Just you see his eyes kind of go wide. This is playing out the window.
Are they mated
I didn't
now?
expect to get this far. Look on his face.
They're mated now, right? She
doing
accepted the
great.
rock.
That's not how it works.
Well, Iraka, I'm sure you must be quite curious. If you'd like, Henry's been traveling with us and has become a member of our following on his journey looking for you. If you'd like to return to the following, I'm sure you two could discuss things.
You do not have wings, little Henry. You cannot fly? No, I can't do that. I don't. That sounds awful. Honestly, I don't want to do that.
There's no
but
rocks in the sky. He has no need to.
I am one with the stone and the earth and the ground. They are. I have a kinship with it, I suppose. But, little Henry, I am a creature of the skies, of the air. I must fly. I must. Well, I'll go. You can fly. You can't not fly. We don't have to both fly. Like we don't have to both walk through stones. That's.
You roost on the mountain, do you not, Iraka?
A mountain's just a really big rock. I can't fly to the top of it, but I could walk there.
incredibly quickly, likely
very
faster
quickly.
than you could go up it with your wings.
And she sort of looks. This.
Henry's just backing up Henry as hard as he possibly can.
You're a great wingman.
Get it, wingman.
Rock solid.
Hate you.
companion.
You said it, not
Thank
me.
you so much.
You said it, not me.
This following of yours. This is more of your people, more of your human folk.
Many more.
Ah, not just
And all
human
kinds.
folk. Yeah, I'm there too. They took me, and they're great. They're very kind. They're very friendly, and they care a lot about everyone. They're good. They're good people.
Very good people.
Well, you certainly aren't from this pass or these peaks, so you must travel some degree, yes?
A
Yeah.
long
Yes.
ways.
Every season.
It is a
Well.
thought that appeals to me. Journeying. Well, very well then, little Henry. The warmth of your soul, it pleases me. I will join you, and if your other humans will have me, them as well.
I'm certain they will.
They'll love you.
We have acquired bird.
You guys can move in parallel. You can like fly here, and he can.
Puts up a finger and just kind of totters over to Henry.
She'll squat down.
The rock worked. It did it.
It did work.
It did it. It brought me back to her.
I never doubted you for a moment.
Can I borrow the rock?
Uraka has it right now. She just kind of has it in her
Like
hand.
that works.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
You did great, Henry.
Does anyone else have another rock?
Thank you so much.
Got a rock right here.
This is. It's all I ever wanted.
She'll give him a hug and
Bros.
Okay. Well, this pass is apparently very dangerous. The human leaders are saying they're great concerns. They're not far. We can go visit them. Dangerous. And I've lived here for a great many seasons, little Henry. There have been strange comings and goings, and sometimes it is buried under snow, sometimes a lake of ice, sometimes even green. What makes it dangerous?
well, likely those people who went ahead of us.
They intend to stop us.
Also, the avalanches.
We can't fly.
The avalanches are no trouble.
Why is that?
Well, they're beautiful to look at. They change the whole of the landscape. They're awe-inspiring, honestly.
But
I love to roost high and or fly above and watch them.
they're trouble for us. You can't fly away from them.
Indeed, they would block the path and make it impossible for us to walk this way.
Or
and we
bury
can't
us.
climb the strong cliffs, or at least not enough of us can for it to work.
Getting buried alive is rarely charming to humans.
Well,
I have a great many questions of all kinds about what brings you here, your journeys, your thoughts, what guides and leads you. As it makes little sense to me, admittedly, but
It's a fascinating story.
Welcome to humanity.
if you see the first woman, the one who came through 6, 7 moons past, you could visit her in her cave. She may know more of these flame bearers that have passed through. She came some time before them and didn't seem to be one.
There's
Excellent.
another
we'll
woman?
look for her. Where is her cave?
Just past these frozen falls up ahead, there is a small crevice on this wall as she reaches out to the northern side of this. It's somewhat hidden, but just maybe a dozen feet, not even past the frozen, the whole of the surface of the frozen pond. There is an entryway you will find. She made her camp in there.
Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't speak with her, but she seemed nice. You seem nice. Maybe you could be friends.
I hope so.
I think Uraka has a good judge of character.
Strange lady in the snow living in a cave. I like it. Let's go see what it's about.
Very well, little Henry. Lead me back to these people that I now follow, I suppose. And yes, okay.
We
The
have acquired a
menagerie
bird god.
grows.
And he takes a couple of steps and then turns back around and totters back over to her and like reaches up with both his hands.
He does the baby grabby hands.
She kind of reaches down and he gets a hold of like one of her fingers and just like turns around and has it kind of up over his head as
That's
he just
adorable.
totters off down the canyon, leading Iraka
out for him.
back towards the following and leaving the rest of you back here in this pass.
How that one? Love in the realm of the room, or love in the realm of the Mammoth Lords.
Hanwi, if I got you the right rock, would you go out with me?
Well, I mean, I do like pretty rocks.
I'll find you one. I'll find you the best rock.
Okay.
Get his hopes up too much.
I'm gonna find him the best rock.
I mean, he could find a really nice rock.
I'm gonna do it. I'm the best at this. There's gonna be.
he does.
Oh yeah.
If I find a better rock,
I'm going
will
out with you.
punch you in the face. I will
go out
bury
with me.
you alive.
On that note, I'm just going to
I go,
start
and
singing
we
and
have a
chanting and
rodent.
tuning these idiots out. It's just like, I don't want to
I
deal
hate
with this
you
right
so
now.
much.
if Hanwi likes my rock better, I get the date with you.
We have experienced throughout
Oh, two
Broken
idiots and a
Tusk
rock.
Moon the full spectrum of Fey shenanigans.
Even
From
Fey wedding.
the horrible river demons to the love story of Henry and Iraka. There are just so many shenanigans to have.
To the Fey annual festival of the Burning Mammoths.
Well, we weren't there for that one, but we can imagine in our heads
Oh, no.
the wonderful time they all had in the Quickling Twigjack Woods.
Especially me and Virgil.
The Fey Olympics.
What a
Fey
date.
Olympics.
Waiting for the newsletter.
In the distance, you can still hear the faint sound of explosions.
The group of you continue through the pass, which is now wound down towards the south.
Keeping an eye out.
And it's about another 100 feet or so before the walkway starts to sort of it's been shallowly dipping ever since you passed Iraka's roost. And you start to come around a corner and see that the gray stone gives way to a very clear and visible at this point in the morning where the sun is trickling down. Almost hard to look at. It's so bright. Surface of a massive frozen pool at the bottom of the great waterfall you could see the very tip of from outside. You've now wound your way down to the very, very base of that. This icy pond looking like it spans 30, 40 feet, completely bisecting the pathway at the lowest point of this canyon. Down at the base of this, what waterfall there was is well and truly gone, and what looks to retain the shape from a great distance is just a huge array of massive icicles. Some wound down against the stone, some hanging out, some so long they form nearly full pillars like stalactites and caverns. From the last lip of this water's journey down the mountains, about 12 feet above, to the surface of the pond itself. You can see there is a great landing, which must have one time have been a second huge rushing blast of water and spray once this may thaw at the very height of the summer, perhaps. And to your right, about 9 feet up, another one of the larger ledges inset into the wall itself on the southern side winds back just before the ground gives way to this icy surface.
Well, that looks about right.
Yeah.
This ice then, the icy lake kind of goes over the canyon floor, so the fallen would have to cross it.
They would. It does not look like there would be any realistic way to get around this.
Does that ice look like it could support the weight of a few mammoths?
With the light on it, it's relatively difficult to tell how deep it even is, other than kind of estimating with the slope of the ground. It looks like it's not a massive pond. Depth does not appear to be the concern. There may be some spots where it is surprisingly thick, but it looks like it is at worst a couple of inches of solid ice. So even were they to crack through it, it would slow them down. It would be obnoxious, but it would not be a mammoth is going to crash through the pond and fall into a lake kind of a problem. It's only like 30, 40 feet wide, and again, it's just at the very lowest point of this canyon.
Okay. Did we want to look for that cave?
Yeah, I'm looking for
Definitely.
As you move out towards the ice, going across this is going to be some degree of difficult, as it has settled down here and its surface is very much flat. Is anybody, just out of raw curiosity, completely untrained in acrobatics?
I believe I am.
I am not trained.
I got goat feet.
I'm super solid.
You don't need to be trained. It's just going to be some degree of difficult to get across this.
Hey, Ozash.
Yes.
You know, I've been saving this for a while, and Hami's going to take this kind of bundle of wicker off her back and unwrap it and lay it out, and it actually turns into a pair of large, light, broad wicker snowshoes.
I actually have a pair too.
I bought them at character creation, not realizing that it was summertime and that there is no snow in the areas we typically go through.
I also
so I've been
have a
carrying
pair.
them the entire time.
Do they have like a listed mechanical use, or am I winging this?
They have a listed mechanical use specifically for deep snow. Deep
Okay.
snow is typically greater difficult terrain. It just turns into difficult terrain when you put snowshoes on. But it will offer a nice broad surface, so hopefully it'll be harder for him to slip and fall.
As you take those, I will let you, with that, are you trained in crafting?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You are?
I am.
Let's say, okay, so whoever would have made these, let's say Aram, because you also have a pair. Why don't you roll me a crafting check here?
Sure.
You make your pair. Depending on how bad it is, I might have made Hanwi's.
I mean, I can make my own.
17.
With a 17, I would give, you got 2 pairs of snowshoes. Whoever has them on, I'll give you a +1 item bonus to your acrobatics check. Because they're not really meant for this, but they do broaden and kind of unflatten the amount of surface area contact you have with this, which gives you definitely a little bit of an advantage.
I'm not very fast, so I will definitely take what I can get.
I'll put some on this hulking bear of a man.
Okay, so Verja and Ozash will just have +1s to their acrobatics checks.
I'm going to tie a rope around Amka and give the other end to Aram.
You know the scene from Bambi where he's on the ice and he's slipping? That's about the way. That's me.
It's not how you saw this finale going, is it?
The greatest.
Faye love story and then us getting stuck on a frozen pond.
It's not my fault.
It's not a 2 perception show
Go
without
feet.
it.
Aram, if you're heading out first, make me an acrobatics check.
Deer feet. I don't really know.
That's going to be a 24.
A 24, that will regular succeed. So it's difficult terrain for you. Yeah, obviously, it's incredibly slick ice. It's going to take a banger of an acrobatics check for you to be able to just walk across it normally. But you are steady. You are steady, and you're definitely able to take some few steps, and you get probably let's say 15. You speed 30, right? You got fleet. 15 feet out on the ice with this rope in hand, trying to help Amka. So, Amka, give me your acrobatics check as you try to follow behind her.
I believe in you.
Position for this, what happens.
18. 18.
With 18, yeah, with
17.
with Aram's assistance, the two of you are both able to get out there. So you're both about 15 feet out on the ice here, making your way about halfway across this pond. As Aram starts to lead Amka, who else would be the next to come across here?
Charging forward.
Aren't you just sending it?
Full
Just run.
You got snowshoes on, so it's a very ploppy kind of thing.
12.
With a 12,
Oh, Lord.
as you go, no respect for the ice here.
Exactly.
You take one step and you don't fall, but you are the Bambi on ice. You don't go anywhere. You immediately just
dancing.
you are slipping and sliding, and your whole focus is just staying upright right on the very westernmost edge of this pond here.
I am right behind him. I'm like, okay, you can do this.
Become a pile of people.
Ready for the train wreck?
Nat 20.
Not.
He saw what I did and learned from it.
Ozosh steps out. I critically succeed. What you?
22 altogether.
What happens here?
He's like pumping himself up. He does the whole little like eyes closed and like doing the toe dip thing. Oh, okay.
He penguin.
He's just literally just starts walking. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong. Gets pretty much all the way across out to the far bank of this frozen
guys.
pond here. As he immediately
The snowshoes worked.
just goes about again. Snowshoes seem to be absolutely perfectly fine. Verge's
Well, Virtue's an idiot.
breakdancing down there. Ozosh is just strutting sit across completely unhindered.
Snowshoes or ice shoes at this point?
Well, they're snowshoes, but they're giving us a little bit of a help. Honey?
Let's see here. Hanwi's pretty light on her feet. She's gonna try to cross on her own, and just kind of.
You're not going to animal cheat.
I was thinking of animal cheating, honestly. I was really thinking of animal cheating, but I'll just keep it to my feet right now. I'll animal cheat if I screw this up. That's a 17.
With 17, you would be much in the same boat as Aram and Umka. You would be able to go out cautiously, make your way across. None of you were just power strutting like Ozosh is here. But 3 of you starting to make your way out. Ozosh just happily marching his way across with no concerns. Verge of breakdancing
Have a new strategy.
on the initial shore. Do you have a new strategy?
Yes. The strategy is crouch down, take my mallet,
You're
start paddling myself.
pulling yourself with the stick. Well, as you think this, I imagine for balance, everyone's definitely going to have all of your weapons and everything put away right here as you're kind
Yeah.
I'm
of pulling on
literally
the rope,
drawing
focusing,
mine.
getting across this.
I am
Yeah.
using it as an oar.
As you reach across, Ozosh, looking back here, is the one who is somehow is having absolutely no problem with this. As you turn back around to look towards the rest of the party, you would see up at the top of the icicles and these pillars at the last ledge of this waterfall, 5 figures rise up, javelins up in hand,
Oh,
seeing their moment.
everyone, look out! Up in the
And, like,
cliffs.
as you say this, a battle cry rattles out, and the rest of the group turns and sees the line of burning mammoths waiting up above. I'm
Now
going to need
I'm
initiative from
withdrawing.
everybody. Nobody is scouting. You are all focused on bouncing across the ice. Nobody's weapons are out. Nobody's anything is drawn. We are trying not to fall.
I rolled a 20.
I rolled a 20.
always ready.
Yeah. I gotta.
And here
I'll wait.
is a gaggle of burning mammoth hunters for you to put atop this ledge. Just leave them right like that.
Yeah. Just,
Way easier if you do it.
All right. I heard Homie got a 20.
31.
She's ready at least. I heard Amka got a 20.
29.
Okay. Super ready. How about Ozosh?
12.
Ozosh is like, he's past this. He's already like out of this encounter. He's strutting across this lake with no problem.
But it's okay. I found something in the snow. It looks.
Verja,
16.
16, and Aram,
24.
24. And you did, in fact, as you make your way across, find yourself a hero point. Shattered Saint for Ozosh, Master of the Frozen Lands.
Thank you. Reverse strike. Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna
I
roll
will
these in 2 packs, so it's not the unlimited rain of just like one single bucket here.
You see, they made a mistake.
Hey, Henry, do you want to trade again?
They didn't wait for me to.
You already blind traded that card. That's your card.
No, it's a different card.
You have another card?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, I have 2
Oh,
hero
I didn't
points.
think you had 2. Fair enough. I think I only had 1. Fair enough. Group the first. What did you get, Verja? 16?
Yeah.
Yes.
I also got 16. So group the first, which is 3, is going to go right there. And group the second is going to go right here. As they all kind of rise out from the ledge here, Hanwi perhaps the most at home. It's the middle of the lake team. All together are right in the zone that would see this first.
Hey,
and are the first to
spellcasters,
react.
would you like to throw spells?
When you only have level 2 spells, your AoEs are a little bit limited.
Fireball.
We spent that one, unfortunately.
Hanwi's going to actually whip the wicker shield off of her back and pull it up in front of her defensively. Aram, above, and guidance is going to pop up on you.
All right,
Amka is going to try to make it across this lake and get behind Ozosh.
Make me an acrobatics check.
8.
Total.
Yeah.
So as you try to move, you are slipping and sliding. That's one action. You're not going anywhere. You don't fall down, but trying to rush out ahead without the rope's assistance ain't going great.
No, it ain't. This ain't
There's nothing that
great.
prevents you from trying again. There's no like multiple attack penalty on the balance check, but
We're going to keep trying. I know how me and javelins equal out to, and it's not fun. 9.
still slipping. Amka's spinning her wheels here.
You are the dumb MB now.
3.
With a 3 at the end, is Amka perhaps panicked here, will fall down prone on the ice.
You just made it worse.
I think I'm a harder target now.
Spin just around to Aram.
Now it's easier to just drag them across.
You hear Amka just flop on the ice behind you.
I meant to do that.
Aram will give you a smile. Thank you for the blessing. Now for you. Now I will quick draw and fire an arrow.
Amka falls on the ground and then feels the rope hit her in the face as Aram just throws the rope. You're on your own, idiot.
Fine.
Throwing the rope kind of throws him off a little. He actually kind of fumbles and actually just drops the arrow instead of firing it.
Okay.
Huh,
Not one.
who knew? Let's try that again.
Maybe try shooting without smiling at me while you do it.
Well, you're so pretty though. So this time we will try a little bit of a volley, and he will hunted shot.
You don't have a prey.
You gotta hunt
That's
prey
right.
first.
I will hunt prey and then do it.
Okay. Hunt prey, let's just say the one furthest to the right.
The closest one.
Okay.
The guy with the face.
There we go. So that's going to be a 25.
25 will hit. They've got a pretty advantageous position up here on the ledge.
Uh, 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And then second, that's going to be -3.
6.
Minus
So-
6.
-6, you're right. So that's going to be still an 18.
18 will catch. That one just getting over the ridge of the ice fall here.
4 damage.
Okay. And 4 more damage as Arm drops 2 arrows into one of them. And you see one of the ones towards the middle take these 2 hits and kind of stagger back for a moment. One at the far edge kind of calls out over the lake, "The war chief knows exactly where you are. Your following's never making it through this pass." And rain of 3 spears comes down. It's going to be just 1 at each of the people that are currently in the middle of the lake. And I'll just go left to right as I can see the tokens here. So it is going to be on Aram. It will be an 18.
We'll go miss, kind of land right beside him in the ice.
On Amka will be a 28.
Crit.
Goodbye.
And on Hanwi will be a 20.
20 with the shield. Even with the shield, it's gonna still get her. Shield block reaction, because druids have that.
Yeah!
Yay!
They get to do shield block things. I like the group. Yay! I like the energy. That was good. Amka is going to get blasted for.
Let's put my health at
15.
0.
It's only like it's a throwing javelin.
It can only do so much.
It's only 13 points of damage.
okay.
13 points of piercing damage, and Hanwi is going to take 1 for 6.
6. So
And I need a reflex save from Hanwi.
shield is gonna soak 3 of that, so that's gonna be
3 and 3.
8, and then 3 on me. And a reflex save for Hanwi is gonna be a natural 1.
You gave it. Why'd
and-
you give it back to me?
And this as this javelin hits with you, the impact hitting into your shield is going to completely knock your feet out from under you on the frozen lake and knock you prone as well.
Okie dokes.
Verja.
I can climb that cliff face.
It's frozen. It's definitely doable because due to all of the large icy stalactites and the edge of where this water bites through, it's much more climbable than the sheer walls of the rest of the pass.
You know what sounds way easier to me than trying to cross this ice?
Going up there.
Going up there.
All right, fair enough.
So I'm just going to not do that. I'm going to come over here and spend 2 actions climbing.
All right, give me an athletics check.
That's going to be a 20. Dirty 20.
20, dirty 20.
30-foot move speed.
So you get half,
15.
I believe. So yeah, one climb check will actually get you
Oh, hey.
kind of up and right onto the lip there with one action left.
Yeah. Mantle.
Mantle. True. Mantle. We got to remember mantling's a mechanic, so
don't have a
someday
climb
when
speed.
somebody takes quick mantle, it'll do anything.
Well, it's because I'm finally playing a character that doesn't have a climb speed.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You've been having a lot of crazy climbing things. And as you get to the top, this one at the far right and the one in the background at the far left are both going to activate. The one at the far left is going to throw another javelin down. Having seen a pretty solid hit on Amka while she's down, I'm just shooting for Amka. They're not aiming to take the hard shots here. They're going to take the free serves. Natural 1. Thrown from the back, this spear is just going to kind of sail overhead and clatter off against the ice. A little spooked by Verja shooting up the side of
One
this.
impacted you so hard you slid.
Yeah.
He throws it and it lands right between the horns on the ice. It's a good shot.
Going to throw it, he's like, oh crap. Verja, come up.
Hey, everybody.
The other one up there directly in front of Verja sees you come up and immediately, javelin in hand, kind of switches to hold it in both hands and just try to shove you right back up off the cliff.
I really hope he fails so he falls, because then I'm going to throw him off the cliff.
It's going to be a good time. Everyone's just throwing everybody here. Natural 20.
Right down I go.
Inspired by true fear. You see Virgin come up 10 feet. This guy's life is going to flash before his eyes as Virgin comes flying up off the top of this, landing prone. You're going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
No reflex, because he pushed me too far back.
Yeah, it's a 10-foot push, actually, so you're just going flying.
That's why the wizard didn't get to grab one.
And you just get the half here as you land.
Welcome to the ice.
And how much?
5. It's just half of the fall distance.
Welcome back.
That's exactly how I saw this fight going. Calls down. You can't stop all of us. The champion up ahead. This pass is coming down on all of you. And just throwing a spear down like at Verja as he falls down to accent his point.
Coward.
18 be flat-footed.
Exact.
Okay. I thought it might be 3 points of piercing damage. And all of these folks up here, except the one on the farthest left, after they threw their salvo, kind of crouched down to ready another javelin, almost fully obscured behind the waterfall. But you just have this one at the farthest left that's shouting over it down at Verja, reaching back to pull out another javelin, still just kind of standing tall, a little distracted. Ozash.
Well, I am going to pull out my shield and axe. And then I'm going to kind of wind back my axe and channel some energy into it, and it starts to vibrate violently. And he casts out Befusk Shockwave in a cone at those guys.
Is that a 15-foot cone?
I believe
Yep.
so, yes.
It'd have to
You're
be
definitely
30
like
foot to get there.
25
far
feet
away.
back,
Is it
and they're
too
up
far?
on a cliff. They're definitely like way at a little cone range.
You are correct. It is 15 feet. My apologies. Okay, so
If you moved up to the base of the waterfall, we'd definitely let you cone it up the waterfall.
but then it costs 2 actions for me to cast it on.
There's no
fair
guarantee
enough.
that he.
And you have to get across the ice, true.
Yeah. Still. Okay, plan B. Never mind. We will leap tier. Lightning arc.
Okay, you can very easily see
I'll-
one guy standing up tall
I'll
there.
zap the one that just shoved Verja off the cliff, and whoever threw the spear really, really hard at Amka.
Go ahead and say that's the one, the arm shot.
Yeah.
So the one is just completely standing up, just going to get a raw reflex save, super cocked. It's going to be a 9.
Fail.
And the one who is crouching down. It's not an area effect, so he does not get the cover bonus for his reflex save. I could have just rolled them both then. 10.
Also a fail. So they are going to take 2d4 plus 1. That's going to be 8 total.
Ooh.
Zap, zap.
The one in the middle that this jumps to, as they crouch down to rain another javelin, is just going to tumble back out of sight as a surge of lightning blasts them back. That one is down, while the one on the left is going to take 8 points of damage.
Was that my prey? The one
Yes.
that went down? Okay.
Yeah.
Hanwi.
Hang in there, Amka. And she's going to try to get up on her feet and move her way off the ice.
Acrobatics check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, you can move your full speed. So,
Cover.
So she's going to move over to cover, and when she's out of sight, she's going to focus on it. Her body's going to shimmer and elongate and coil on itself, and she's going to turn into this massive...
you have one action. Get up and move.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darn. Am I out of sight of them?
You are definitely like in cover, can take greater. Yeah, if you're on the corner, yeah, you're out of sight. You're out of view there.
Okay. In that case, guidance on Verja.
And then she starts transforming,
I'll
but
start
we'll get to that
transforming.
next round.
Yeah.
Amka.
Stand up. Spear. Now we're gonna just giving them a very angry look. I'm gonna try to walk across the ice. This time more collected. 10. This will work eventually. 8.
No, sends back up, pulls the spear out, and just goes back to just
Take
slipping.
cover behind arms.
Slipping and sliding. Whereas Aram, you can hear this behind you. Amka's up, Amka's slipping. Amka's not going anywhere.
I'll distract them, Arm. You just shoot them.
All right. I'm gonna pull one of the medium tallow bombs actually out.
Oh, no.
So it's gonna be in my second range increment, but I'm gonna designate one of the ones who isn't down as my prey, so I can ignore the penalty in the second range increment for the tallow bomb.
Solid.
And I am going to throw it at him.
All right, so you're throwing it righty or lefty? Lefty got a little bit zapped because it's two people on the right and the left because that one kind of in the middle is not there
Righty
anymore.
then.
All
Oh,
right,
someone went down?
Yeah, someone went down.
give me an attack roll.
Yeah. It was the one that he shot and...
My prey.
Ah,
He is not very practiced with these bombs. He like tosses it and he almost throws it back up in the air on himself for an 11.
11? Oh, one off. Critically
Critically fail.
failing
That's
because
what-
he has
kinda what
greater
I
cover.
thought.
So it's a regular failure, which means they are both going to take 2 points of fire damage as this bomb does end up kind of coming down and it just does the splash on a fail.
Yep.
Sort of just bursting next to them. It hits him a little, but yeah, throwing bombs not really the strong suit. Okay.
One more time. I got
Can you
3
quick
of
draw
them.
twice one turn? I think you can, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, throw another one.
quick draw works?
Yeah, it's
Why
a
wouldn't it? Just
bomb.
draw a
yeah
weapon and
because I
strike with it.
designate
Yeah.
him as my prey.
It's an alchemist feat.
No, it's not.
Like they can take
Quick bombers.
Quick, but like quick draw,
Draw
anyone,
also
it's
works.
draw and strike. So yeah, you can absolutely quick draw a bomb. You can't make one, but if
No.
you have a bomb, you can
Yep.
absolutely quick draw a bomb.
You're telling me
Nick's
bomb-
entire life
Are
view
bomb
just totally
rangers
shamed.
better
That's
than
gonna be a
alchemists?
22.
No.
22 will hit.
There you go.
So it is going to deal
2d4
2d4.
persistent.
He's just on fire. The second one solidly hits the guy in front. Well, it's his turn, so nothing's happening right now.
Oh, okay.
But we'll come. I mean, if you can just roll it now, I'll just write it down for. It's his turn, literally right now.
Oh, okay.
You just already rolling it.
2
2 points of damage.
plus 2 splash.
D4s are great. Love to see them. This is 2 now because one of the ones from this initiative has gone down. You're going to have one throwing another spear down towards Amka and one throwing a spear down towards Aram. Amka, it's going to come down for an 11.
It misses. Woo! I'm so excited.
Aram, it's going to come down for a 19. Miss and miss.
Yep. Aram just kind of steps out of the way.
And as they pop up, throw these, and then duck back down behind the line here.
Their aim's
You
getting
guys just
worse.
aren't really good at
Verja.
this, are you?
Oh, they got me really good. Their aim's just getting worse.
Yeah, it's kind of easy to get you, though.
Can you crawl 5 feet?
Yeah. Yeah, you can absolutely crawl on ice. Absolutely.
Gonna rage, crawl, and just start climbing.
Give me that like,
So angry.
he's like a slug.
That will be a 20.
Very angry.
20 will regularly succeed, which will pull you back up on the top again.
I'm just peeking over the edge.
Right in front of this guy, as he gets the javelin back out again, you come back up, and you're just sort of on the edge, and he's like, no! Boots at you. Gonna make a shove for an 18 versus your 4 DC.
No.
He just kind of kicks
I'm
at
a
you.
barbarian.
You're raging
And
now.
he's raging. So
And sort of pushing at you with his foot, nothing happens. His eyes kind of widen a little bit, and he just stabs down with the short spear. He doesn't have- Get down! Get down!
Down, beast, down.
You are flat-footed, I assume, unless you have combat climber for
I
some
don't
reason.
have combat climber now.
Okay, so you are flat-footed.
And raging, so AC 17.
He's got a natural one. This man's terrifying. This guy's scared. He's just poking.
He came back.
Poor
I wasn't
man.
expecting this.
And the one at the other side here, who's also been kind of splashed by these bombs again a bit, is going to turn his target towards Aram as well for a 25.
That will hit.
Give me a reflex save. And you're going to take 8 points of piercing damage.
I am going to dive out of danger. I automatically succeed, but I am clumsy 1.
Okay.
I really don't want to
stay
risk
up.
failing right now.
You stay up for sure, but you like have to really commit to it. You're a little off balance. You're clumsy one, but you're not going down.
But I'm not going down.
And as you take that, he calls out again. You can barely stand on the ice. You're like baby deer. Do you think you can stand against burning mammoths?
At least I can hit what I shoot at.
He says with a spear sticking out of his shoulder. Oh, Zosh.
Rude.
well, if it works once, it's gonna work again. He's gonna charge up the lightning, leap theater, and he's gonna shoot the one that's trying to push Verja off again.
Who's again the only one who's not in greater cover because he's just thrusting.
And then whichever one is right next to him.
Okay. Reflex saves
Yep.
are going to be 19 and 24.
They both succeed, so
So just half damage on both.
half damage. Yep, it's still damage. That's all that matters.
It is in fact damage.
That is a 7 altogether. So
3.
3. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he doesn't want to get hit by a spear, so he's going to raise his shield.
Fair enough. Hanwi.
Hanwi is going to channel light, and her whole body will glow with white light and actually elongate and coil around on itself
I've heard
until
this before.
what we have now is a coiled up viper that's probably like good 15 feet long. And then it's just going to slither up the cliffside.
Yeah, I mean, your Viper is longer than the height of the cliff.
Yep.
And with your, I assume, climb
Climb
speed that it
speed
has.
of 20. Mhm.
Absolutely. Just,
Oh, that is new.
you don't need to worry about slipping on the ice because,
I'm literally
You're
grabbing
a
onto
snake?
15 feet of it.
Yeah.
You scaled.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can go across it like you're a snake.
Yeah.
Was a snake gonna trip and fall on the frozen lake?
Snake
Yeah.
flat-footed.
Still.
I mean, I guess you could fail and it just does that. You ever seen those things the snake's trying to move and they're just literally going nowhere? They're just wiggling. Yeah. But you can go up around the side and come down. As this guy next to you doesn't even seem to notice as he's just stabbing this little spear down at Verja on the one on the other side. So, Tartuk! And points up and he turns and looks at this giant snake.
Staring at him.
Amka.
Still
Which
attracted
one of
to
these
you.
made the deer comment?
It would be the one back
I'm
right.
attacking that one with these. As Amka just yelled out, you hear yell, shine! And the light just seems to reflect off the ice into his eyes. Make me a will save, please. Sir.
Oh, my eyes! It has hit the lighters and targeting me directly!
Exactly. DC 19.
15.
Fails.
Oh, 13 even. I can't do math.
He fails. That means he takes 4 non-lethal damage.
Days.
Days.
She's sort of staggering a bit in the back, clearly down in the cover as you have one action left. Do it.
5.
She goes back down.
You're really bad at
I'm
this.
laying down.
Just take a nap.
It's cozy.
Hey, Burning Mammoths, looks like you're on the wrong side of the cliff face.
Throw another tallow bomb up there.
Last bomb, let's go.
Do it.
Getting good value on
Other
these bombs.
side. Because we've already hit this side. They're already kind of splashed.
That guy is no longer on fire, but he did take the damage for sure. Other side.
Ooh.
That's going to be a 25.
It hits. It hits.
Okay.
Verja's going to take 2 splash damage.
Oh no.
Both of them are going to take 2 splash damage.
And once he's done with that, I'll quick draw my bow again and fire.
All right.
Silly.
He got really excited about the tallow bomb and he just totally misses. Is my prey still alive? Or
Your bow is super on the ground because you just dropped it to start throwing.
Yeah,
tallow
that's what
bombs.
I'm
So
gonna
it'll be
pick
an
it
action
back
to
up,
pick it up and
and
an
then
action to
action
shoot.
that's why I'm done.
Yeah. Sorry, what was your question? I was just thinking.
Is my prey still alive? I think he is.
Your pry is still alive on the right,
thank
yes.
now.
And
now.
as he and the other one kind of next to Snake here, the one on the far left is going to, he's pats out the fire kind of in a panic here, scooping up a bunch of what little broken bits of ice and snow he can get to kind of throw it across himself, and then stands up and pulls out another javelin. And as he reaches back and pulls it out, kind of everyone notices this is his last javelin. So he sort of looks down, looks over at Verja and the snake, and he is going to move actually across towards
One in the
Hanwi.
back.
Yes, around. No, the one right in front of him. Is going to move around towards the back, just in front of Hanwi, and just rush in and thrust up at this. What are the odds? Why did we launch our attacks a mountain snake?
He's also going to take 6 damage.
No, they got on the other side. Well, yes. It is going to be an 18 to poke of the snake.
18, almost preternaturally quickly, Hanwi's going to dip the head back out of the way and just strike sparks off the cliff wall.
Snakes are pretty fast.
Oh no. And the woman in front of him, who is the one that is now on. Oh, you were throwing at that same place.
Yeah.
Right? You were throwing at the same. He is in fact super on fire. How much damage did you say?
6.
6. And as he gets up there, he thrusts and just face plants down into the snow. He is in fact gone.
Bye.
The one now kind of in the middle next to Verja also pulls his last spear and sort of looks at the snake and looks down at Verja. And she just says, we can't catch a break. We just can't catch a damn break. I'm just going to start stabbing at Verja. Just get down.
This is the one in the middle.
Yes.
They must have drew the short straw to come out here and ambush us.
17 flat-footed breeding? Okay.
Can't catch a break.
4 points of piercing damage. Got very little to do other than just keep swinging and hope the Verja goes away.
Well, my
Good luck.
rage health is gone finally.
8.
Oh no.
No.
That's I'm concerned.
6.
Got me. That's the secret number.
Fake out.
Verja.
Mantle. Sledgehammer.
Finally.
Oh
The
no.
one that pushed me.
Yeah. Oh no.
Ooh, it's an 18.
Yeah, they're probably dead. So,
What's the total? I'm just curious.
27.
27 crits.
Yeah.
Do
Do you want me to roll?
Yeah, like big numbers are fun.
Big numbers are
we like
fun.
big numbers.
I like big numbers.
We got like rolling cool Norse Foundry dice. Shout out to these guys for sponsoring us with all of the dice that you see in these dice trays here, and then I'm rolling back here. You don't
an
see.
11 and a 1, 12 becomes 24 for a 34.
Peace and famine.
Do you want to know how much health these guys have?
15.
15. You know how much health this guy has?
7.
2.
Yeah. Sorry about
That man
Literally
He
splat.
got splashy.
is
What he gets for pushing me.
super duper gone. And with that mega golf swing here, each of these are now just one single person. This being the one in the back left, who was going to pull his last spear. See Verja up on the ledge, see this snake coming down, and he is just going to kind of brace himself for a moment, has his last spear in hand. Just then start running, like he's rooting himself up for a moment before he starts running and just thrusts this out towards Hanwi on the cliffside. 12.
Not another nat 20, really.
7.
7. Just kind of pulls up the cliff and just gets out of his reach as he stabs in.
They are
effectively.
very much the two that are here, like panic stabbing at the things that are in front of
They're
them.
ranked number 4 and 5 out of the group.
They came to win.
Oh, Zosh.
I don't think they did.
Oh, look at them. They're so sad. I might as well just have fun with this one. He just nonchalant just points a finger, goes, lead theater. Like a tiny bolt of lightning. Like almost no effort.
9 and a 9. I rolled the same thing for
Fail
both
on
of them. A little bit of bzz action going on. You like to see it. Could be a big bad bzz action.
6.
It's not, but it could have been, like, theoretically. Yeah. So both of them, as they take this, again, not the hardiest of burning mammoths, is starting to look pretty well injured.
And I just fold my arms and just
Put the shield down. Lift here. Lift here. Lift here. Hanwi, you have two very injured remnants of this burning mammoth ambush here.
They've been kind of jumping up. She's kind of been ahead, and she's just going to fix one and just open her mouth and hiss at them. And that's a demoralize.
Okay.
spooky snake.
24.
Yeah, he's yep, okay. Yeah, if it has not come across from the attack rolls, they're scared.
As she just fixes them with that snake stare and then lunges down at his face. Natural 20.
Oh my god.
Well, he is.
What happens to him?
Well, he takes, goodness gracious. Actually, that's a really not very great roll, but
I
that's
see
okay.
2 1s on DC.
Yeah.
2 1s, but the D4 is a 4,
That's
so
fair.
that's going to be 6, 7, 14 points of piercing and poison
Yeah,
damage.
very dead.
Actually, like latches right onto his face, and then with like a roll of the powerful neck muscles and torso muscles of the snake, kind of like throws his body to the side where it twitches from the poison.
on top of the body of the last guy who fell over right here, just sort of still kind of smoldering in the ice.
And I'm going to let go as a free action to tumble to the ground,
Sure.
and then I'm going to bite him.
All right.
My last action.
Gonna bite his ankles.
Snake stuff.
Bitey McBiterson.
That's a 18 minus 5, 13.
13. This panicked state of this woman is going to allow her to sort of just dance away from the snake as it sort of drops off the cliffside here. Amka on the ground at the frozen pond.
You okay, Amka?
Oh, yeah. I'm fine. I'm good.
You just stay right there.
Everything is good. Standing up. And we're walking. 7. And we're walking. 18.
Oh, she moves!
Did it.
She passed!
How many rounds?
I think it's around 4.
Hey, you did it. Good job.
And she slides over half her speed up next to Ozosh at the edge of the ice.
Oh, it took you long enough.
Now he
really-
can just pick you up and put you
Guys,
on.
We've had the battle that's going on, but the real story
The real fight.
is the
real
triumph
fight.
of Amka Un versus the concept of friction. And finally, you have emerged victorious, my friend.
Goat feet don't make for good traction, I guess. I don't know.
Which is
I think they're meant to do very the opposite based on all of the pictures of goats I've ever seen.
But what if you see them on ice?
Ice goats.
You made that up.
That sounds like
Did
a
I?
thing.
It might as well be a Pokemon.
Arum.
Burned brother, I don't suppose you'd like to surrender.
I'd surrender. You should turn back while you can.
Yeah.
Facing justice at our horde will be
No,
much
no,
better.
no.
So in this angle, she didn't not any further back than she was. Yep, just regular cover. Definitely
Yeah.
did not take greater cover. Was just swinging.
Hunted shot.
All right. Pry in the 2-piece.
That's going to be a lot. It's a 24.
24 hits.
And that's a nat 20. Jeez.
So what you she's starting this red here and just funk 2 arrows
Dodge.
snap in the side of her.
It could not kill her.
She has 3 health. It literally cannot.
Yeah, there are more dice of damage with the deadly than.
I couldn't stand hearing the rest of it. Was that wrong? Was that wrong? I
little
gave her a
bit.
chance to surrender.
Not at all.
No. No.
Push me off the
But as
cliff.
After everything is settled, I look at Anka. Do you need help?
You did so good. You got off the ice and you didn't get killed.
I pick her up and carefully place her in the
Don't
snow
touch
next
me.
to me.
Don't touch me.
You know what's
do not touch
way
me.
easier for me?
I'm still picking her up
Climbing.
and gently putting her
Climbing
into-
over and dealing with 5 feet of ice rather than walking across 30 feet of ice.
So as you make your way over towards the far side there, coming down the far right of this waterfall, having already been told about it as you make your way down, you would see the small crevice at the ice level just kind of past this waterfall here. We don't need the map anymore for now. It would be out across like 10 feet of ice, but you could literally just hand over hand your way across the wall, Verja, as you come down and move over to it quite easily. Mm-hmm. The
not
rest
gonna
of you
pull the
gathered
Anka
on the
special.
shore could
you
also
okay?
very
You okay,
easily
Yeah.
see this now as well. It's
I'm
what you
fine.
what you were looking for in the first place, well, the Burning Mammoths attacked.
You need help with that ice?
How does everyone look?
A lot
Untouched.
better after I pancaked somebody.
I have a.
I'm gonna put my snake head on top of Amka to soothe her for her terrible injuries that I saw her take.
I have a hole. Like right here.
I'm gloriously untouched.
Same.
I look like I got poked once and fell off a cliff.
Sort of slither back down, coil up, and then it's Hanwi just sitting on the ground. Perhaps we should patch our wounds a bit before we go and explore that cave. It wouldn't do to go and bleed all over her home, whomever this is.
True enough.
That sounds like a good idea.
Amka, boy, you really got you good.
It looks way worse than it actually feels.
Have you considered cringing? I find that gets you out of the way a little bit.
I don't know. She fell down a lot.
I figured being on the ground would make me a harder target, but
Verja tried that too. It didn't work.
I'm gonna sit down and just kind of rummage through my kit and start just plugging the hole.
I'll help.
Give me your aid. Give me your medicine check real quick. As you
Real-world
sit
consequences.
for 10 minutes within this
23.
this camp, you get +1.
That gives me a total of 27.
Okay, 27 will assume expert DC, so regular
Expert, yeah.
2d8 plus 10 health back, which is probably
Yeah,
It's more than enough.
Yeah, I'm back.
over those 10 minutes. This area on the far side of the frozen pool, where the main ravine clearly continues to wind around this massive northern peak on your left, there are 2 smaller canyons jutting off into the right wall, much like these strange little overhangs you've been walking past, but at ground level and much wider and taller. Both the entrances, the canyons are maybe 15 feet wide at most, and you can see they only go back about 30 feet or so before narrowing kind of to a close. Neither of them is a full path. But you would not be able to, like, it's around I guess those either on the bank of the pond could pretty much see straight into them. And the southernmost of these, you can see that there are heaps of furs, small bags, piled wood, tucked maybe 20 feet back into the farthest right of one of these. And while they're doing their medicine check, what are the other 3 of you doing?
I am going to look around and see what I could find.
I'm
You two?
gonna go up and see if they had any more of those bombs on them. Since they were burning mammoths, they might have had some stuff. I like those things.
You gotta climb your way up in Vergia.
Looking for footprints, evidence of where things have been going.
With the hard packed ground from here, it leaves nothing really upon the stone. There's no like layer of snow here. What may have been has given way to just frozen rock. The ground here is just not really conducive to tracks. But what is your survival proficiency?
Believe I'm expert.
Expert? You can give me a survival check.
Yeah, I'm expert.
Give me a survival check then.
That's 11. I rolled a 3.
Yeah, really nothing that would make tracks of any kind here. Aram up top, searching the bodies. It seems the vast majority of any useful kit they would have had, they threw at you.
Bummer.
Each of them just came with a small kind of slung quiver of a trio of javelins, or short spears, really. They're not even, I keep calling them javelins because they're throwing them, but they are literally short spears that they were taking the second range increment penalty on the entire time.
Ow. They still crit me.
They did their best. And they really did not carry much else other than, again, this Burning Mammoth trademark of these kind of very light furs and hides. It's not even really armor, a little more than just the smallest bit of comfort and coverage. At Ozosh, as you head into this strange little finger-like canyon here, still clear view of everyone, you can see it doesn't go very far. The stone billowing out further as it rises up rather than coming in overhead. It's not a cave by any means. This small little camp is kind of scattershot. There's a couple of little piles of small bundles of furs laid out around almost in the shape of like sleeping bags, little bed rolls. A couple of rough wooden crates and sacks of supplies like basic food and water are just sort of littered around a heap of ashen, blackened wood that is certainly the remains of a campfire. There isn't anything here that you find particularly interesting. It's a very simple and very quickly cobbled together campsite, but it looks like it could sit maybe a dozen, or supplies for maybe like a dozen, half dozen at least men.
Well, on that note, if I can't find anything interesting, I'll at least take what I can carry in food and water and supplies and bring it back to the rest of the group here.
You come back around the same time that everyone's reconvening and the medicine check concludes back on the eastern shore of this frozen pond.
Oh, you found their stockpile, Ozosh.
Yes, it's not a lot, but it should be a decent amount of food and water for a couple of days, maybe.
Did you find any sign, Berja?
Not with all the stones. Too much packed earth.
Do you mind if I take a look real quick?
Be my guest. It's not my rocks.
I'm
You'll
also,
spend another 10 minutes searching for Drex?
yeah. I am also expert in survival. I have terrain expertise, Arctic, and I have survey wildlife. So
All the things.
This is so metagaming, but I'll let you do it.
I also have terrain expertise Arctic, but
This is super meta. Oh, you didn't find it? Well, I'll roll it. This is super meta, but I'll let you do it.
it's more like you said I can't make him my prey until I find tracks, so I'm gonna go try to find
do you know
tracks.
what meta means? This is super mega metagaming,
assist?
but I'll let you roll it. No, you already failed.
I
Roll
want to
it.
make it worse.
It's gonna be hate you.
I'm just eating salted meats.
It's a 15.
So Aram spends another 10 minutes metagaming across the floor, and there is justice in the universe, and he is unrewarded. Afterward,
Next time I'm rolling.
what are the rest of you doing?
I guess I just extra 2 minutes.
Oh wait, hold on.
Shut up. You have this cavern or the
if we were spending another 10
pass
minutes,
continuing on beyond.
then someone could medicine check me because I did
Yeah.
take some
Totally could.
damage.
I can
Give me
medicine check him.
He's not very injured,
I
so
was
just
gonna say
throw
you
me one
could
real quick.
refocus too.
That's true.
Yeah, I can just medicine.
Yeah, because I guess I actually have to
bad
do
do you
something to
look?
I fell
refocus. I'm
5
used to
feet and I got
oracles that
poked
don't
one
literally have to
time.
do anything.
All right, I'm gonna do this to train.
If you need to
Okay.
I'm gonna do the
refocus,
easy one.
I can assist on the medicine check.
24
Or not.
on the
Give me
easy
an
one.
aid, because literally +1 would make a crit.
That is a 22.
Okay, cool. You critically succeed.
Yay.
4d8
I'm back to full health.
to Verja as
I
Hanley kind
am
of recenters
healthy.
herself, and the party is largely brought back to fighting fit as well as you can.
You go ahead and assist because that wasn't meta. We didn't know he needed a +1.
He was already assisting. I just wasn't going to bother rolling it.
All right. So, well, I guess
GM can meta.
now that we're all in positions, let's go check out that cavern. Maybe we can find that lady that Iraka said was living here.
The passageway is extremely narrow, requiring more than even just single file, really, requiring you to almost kind of squeeze through.
That sounds like a problem for big people.
Knew I
This-
should have taken quick squeeze.
I guess when we're
Using
outside.
squeeze and mantle.
Incredibly narrow crevice, whereas it winds back into a cavern here. Surprisingly, it is not pitch dark inside, as it is almost walled in from the outside by stone, but the back wall of it kind of arcs out and meets the sky once more up above as you push through maybe like 10 feet of this narrow passageway, ending up in a small like 12-foot around, just sort of again enclosed little canyon. Inside, whoever would come through first, it is much drier back here than the kind of damp, snowy air of much of the pass outside. And it's immediately apparent this would be a dramatically more comfortable place to engineer a campsite. But again, it's not large. You have open air for a campfire, and you can see that no campfire was built. At least not recently. There's clear evidence on the ground that fires have been burned here in the past, but they look like they are far long gone. Certainly must not be what Iraka was speaking of. There is a body laying across the ground with the altitude and the temperature well preserved, not rotting, not immediately known how long it's been here, but very clearly frigid and blue and still.
Oh dear.
What is?
Oh, we might have found her.
Gonna go
Bit
check.
too late, I guess.
Gonna go check the body.
Yeah, let's go check the body out.
She doesn't look like she was terribly old, maybe about like in her 50s, with hair that was just starting to gray, sort of loosely bundled back behind her head. She,
Old enough to be living in the wilderness.
I guess
on your
that's
own.
pretty old for wilderness survival solo woman, probably realistically. The rest of her body is like completely impossible to see at first, as she is very much more heavily bundled than many of the followings of the North are used to. She is wrapped about in hefty furs and cold weather gear that still does look like it was much handmade, and she is Khaled. She's not like some weird traveler that came from out where she looks to be native to the region. But she has very little for actionable supplies on her person. A small pack, more just a roughshod sack, sits next to her with some bits of dried meat and some frozen berries, as well as a couple pieces of kind of chalky stone and a couple pieces of charcoal, and two small little objects. One, a tiny, very fine hempen pouch, and the other, a slim flask not taller than a finger.
Is there any way I can get a sense from the shape the fire pit is in or anything else exactly how long she might have been here?
Well, the fire pit looks like it must have long predated her. Based
Okay.
on her position, it doesn't look like
So
she
she found
did
it.
much
She
of-
didn't make it.
Right. It's not
Okay.
even a fire pit. It's just like some chars upon the ground and
Okay.
some ancient nicks in the stone.
I just just for the giggles, I can obviously tell she probably froze to death, but I still want to do like a medicine, just go over the
medicine
body with a regular medicine check. So I'm gonna roll this over here. Move the dice tray closer. Right?
That's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1.
She
It's
was
12
poisoned.
total. Looks like she burned to death.
I mean, like you said, looking down her
Burning
body,
Mammoth
it's,
strike again.
it's pretty obvious she froze to death.
She,
Yeah, that's
she was clearly burned to death by a frozen flame.
the thing.
All right. It's tragic, really.
Well, I mean, it happens, especially if living by yourself out in the wilderness. Probably when it would have happened to me if you guys hadn't found me.
Like I said, it's tragic to die alone.
As Amka's checking over the body here, that's not 10 minutes, but it would take her a moment searching and seeing if there's anything she could find. The only things that appear to really be of interest, her gear is quite well made and hefty, but this small flask and this tiny little hempen pouch looks like it could hold one single D20.
Well, I'll take a peek at them. Let's see what's in it.
Malachite, you're cursed now.
The pouch holds maybe like the volume of a single thumb of what looks to be a very gritty black dust. It's more like a sand or grit than it is dust. But when you open the pouch, it clearly very faintly glows with just the tiniest bit of an ember light.
Well, that's interesting. I'll see what I can find out about it. I actually have quick identification, so...
Oh, what's your nature?
11.
You would identify this as a magically enchanted tiny pinch of powder that you could just cast upon the ground, and that will immediately spring to life as a pretty mighty bonfire that seems like it will burn for hours with nothing more than the magic contained within this small pouch. That makes more sense as to the signs of the fire on the ground showing no ash, no wood, or nothing, looking much older than they truly were.
Okay.
That's interesting. Could I just use a pinch of it, or would I have to use all of it?
What's left would be like a dose of it.
A dose
so
of it,
you would
okay.
need to throw the rest of it down.
Huh.
Well,
She
that's
kept
useful.
useful, I suppose, in a pinch, but I mean, just
That was funny.
well, you have to make a fire every night. I can't imagine that this is easy to make.
Yes, but she may have had it specifically for this environment. I mean, she may have been fairly good enough to make a fire in a place where a fire could be made, but it would be fairly difficult to do it in a place like this.
We'd have to carry wood from the lower areas, but well. And then she's going to take a once over the flask, see if she can open it without destroying it, and take a sniff.
It does have a almost like soft cork wood stopper that you can sort of twist out and replace. It's not wax sealed or anything. What is inside this small flask is a very thin, sort of brownish liquid. It doesn't smell alcoholic at all. It almost smells very earthy. Not sweet at all. It's a very muted kind of scent. And there's just like a half of a shot that's in here of whatever it is. With your quick identify, because it is actually magical, this is not an alchemical creation, but a potion of a magical nature. And you would be able to identify it as a barkskin potion.
Ooh.
Neat.
What a
I like the item card.
What a treat.
It says, read the spell description, idiot.
That's why I also gave you the spell card.
Oh, you did. All right, cool. Thank you.
We got both.
What's Barkson? It gives you better AC.
It gives you
makes you flammable.
It's not AC. It gives you resistance 3 to piercing and slashing,
Better.
and resistance 2 and weakness 3 to fire.
Yeah. Makes you
It's the
flammable.
bludgeoning and piercing.
Bludgeoning
You're still
and
weak to
piercing. You're
slashing.
slashing because wood. Because
Yeah.
I was like, I know it's 2 of them. I know piercing is one of the ones that you resist.
Neat.
So you better at not getting bonked or speared. Worse at not getting set on fire.
Well, I mean, it would have been nice to talk to her, but I really want to find Barthen. I don't like not knowing where he is now that we found his outriders.
I know exactly where he is. He's up ahead planning an ambush.
We should try to be more careful as we move around.
Is
If we see an area, especially one where it looks like it'll be hard for us to cross, that'll be the perfect place for an ambush to be planned. They had us dead to rights on the ice. If they'd hit us with the full force, we would have been in serious trouble.
I got hit with the full force.
Yeah, Barthen's cocky, though. He wouldn't want to make it so easy on himself.
It's
I
our
als-
only saving grace, or he thought it would be enough.
I also don't think he wants to just get us. I think he wants to get the following too. I think it's a 2-pronged trap, and I think we need to be careful.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, I'm going to say a prayer over this lady's body. Not much more I can do. It's odd that she had a magical item to create a fire, yet she froze to death.
Did she freeze to death? I mean, certainly the body is frozen now, but I didn't see any food on her. Maybe she just starved.
You say there's food, there's dried
I was
meats.
about to say,
There's some food.
Yeah,
There's some
she had
food in the
food.
back.
She had packed food.
That is curious, actually. But then that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't she have used this if she were desperate?
I mean,
Are you sure?
So now this is a non-meta reason to do the check again. You have conflicting information that's like, that doesn't sound right to me.
yeah.
If you want to try a medicine check as well, Henry, you can.
May I use nature for natural medicine?
Absolutely, yes.
Ran out of
21.
essential oils.
Yeah.
Oh no! Moisturize me.
The cave is too dry. with a 21, looking her over, it's actually pretty easy to miss as bundled up as she is in her very thick furs and leathers and hides, several layers wrapped around her body. She actually has a small wound just above her hip on her right side. There's no blood that has made it through to the outer layer of her clothing, making it super obvious, but you find the puncture. And looking through, you can see the whole area, almost the whole of her side, even still frozen. The skin looked like it was reddened, now dried almost to black as it sunk in. It looks like it was terribly infected.
So she was wounded and then died from the wound. Went sick.
that's even worse.
The fate
Sounds
of
like she
many
froze
who
to death to me.
the fate of many who try to make it by themselves out in the wilderness. It doesn't take much, just a string of bad luck.
But with nothing else seemingly to find here in this cavern, you'll be squeezing your way back out. I could make you roll acrobatics checks to get across the 10 feet of ice. It'd be funny, but I'm going to let you just like you
12.
with some assistance. You are close enough. It's like 10 feet. If you,
Turn into a
worst case
snake,
scenario,
stretch
you
across
can,
the entire thing.
you can just like sit down and push off of
her.
the wall and just slide all the way back
I was
to
just
the
going
other
to
shore.
pick her up.
Ozaj can literally just carry you.
15.
But you get there.
All right, I'm happy.
Maybe you make your way across, and as further down this winding passage of Rimecrag Pass. After another few dozen feet, before you see another one of these strange channels into one of these offshoots of these crags, this massive crack through the land that narrows much wider and shallower than the rest so far. And again, clearly not the main pass, which winds around to your left, opening up into a much larger area. As the group of you come into view around this corner, you can see an enormous overhanging wall of ice and snow on the inside of this, physically billowing out from the stone wall, almost hanging down over a large chunk of this.
Yep.
Run all the way up towards the top of the peak, looming hundreds of feet above.
That's the place.
And this would be the point at which you pass around the first of these massive peaks, and above that and beyond, you could see more of the great peaks of the Tusk Mountains in the distance. You see a lot of things here. 3 massive bonfires set up, blazing across the ground. A couple of taut leather constructions above them, forcing the smoke to billow up underneath the snow rather than just letting it filter up into the air. A half dozen figures gathered around, stoking these fires, feeding them more wood and coals as this heat rises up into the enormous snowpack looming over the back end of this pass. You see on a mountain ridge, maybe a quarter mile away at the next peak, figures silhouetted against the blue skies. At this distance, for them to be distinguishable, they must be massive. They must be 10, 12 feet tall, possibly more. You see 3 or 4 of them at the edge of this peak against the sky. And amongst this group in front of you, as you all kind of come into view, turning to face the party, you see Barthen.
Pray.
It is here we will take our midstream break.
Hate
We
that guy.
return in a couple of minutes.
Put an arrow through his face.
The finale of the quest for the Frozen Flame, the finale for the Two Perception Show. And at the end of today's adventures, we'll have some more information about the Undeniably Good Time that is coming in the future. When and where you will be able to find so much more of our content after this. Don't go too far.
God, I hate his face.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. As we left off, we have rounded the corner to a momentous Burning Mammoth operation of a half dozen people. A set of 3 massive bonfires lit across the floor of Rimecrag Pass, underneath a massive overhanging snowpack, clinging to the side of the pass on a shelf of frigid ice. Were that to come down, this whole canyon would very well become impassable to any of you, much less the entire following. And heading this up, turning around as the group of you come into view, is Barthen. He looks largely the same as he always has. His hair kind of brought back in a couple of rows on the side of his head, and one big sweep over the top into a thick black ponytail. His leather and hide armor still worked to only cover his shoulders and his torso. He's never a man for hiding the muscles he worked so hard for. His face worked across with a symbol, starting off at the left ear, burning down across his cheekbone, arching across his nose, and cutting down to his jaw on the opposite side, about the width of a finger. These bright red brands of the Burning Mammoths. He looks and sees the group of you. The rest of the Burning Mammoths notice as well, and all kind of look to each other and look to Barthen, and he just raises a hand, palm open. Well, here we are.
Heard you're the champion now, Barthen.
Did good for yourself.
I finally joined in with a group that respects me the way that they should. That values my strength.
You think we didn't?
No. What? Are you serious, Verja?
Value your strength. Yes, we have disrespected you plenty. You have a very punchable face.
I am War Chief Ivarsa's champion now. I'm her right hand. She took me under her wing, taught me. And now I'm here to make sure that you and the rest of the failure you call a family doesn't get through here.
Barthen,
Put that away.
she doesn't value you. She told you what you wanted to hear and then sent you out into the wilderness with the worst of the Burning Mammoth following to attend to you.
You are nothing more
The
than a tool.
failures that you once called family.
That I was forced into. My father was weak. This man was useless. He's everything that's wrong with the Broken Tusks.
You could have fixed it, Barthen. You are strong enough to.
If they gave me a chance, maybe.
If you were less miserly with your glory, people would have followed you.
This is what I was meant for. This is my family. This could have been all of our family. If not for my father and my traitor of a grandmother, we could have all lived this wonderful destiny together.
Are you
We
telling
still
me
could.
that you feel nothing for the following? Urgula? Aram? You feel nothing at all as you get to hear her babies scream as they burn to death, as your mammoths surely will? You know she had 3 of them,
Look.
right? Triplets.
He holds up a hand. He's got a wooden shield, a round shield that he's pulled out off of his back. A spear in his other hand, not the spear that you saw from the river before, but one of plain wood, one of several he has in the quiver across his back. And as he drew that out, many of the rest of the Burning Mammoths behind him also pulling out gnarled wooden shields, long spears, coming closer to Barthen, but not closer to any of you, some 20 feet away, leaving this no man's land across the canyon. The bonfire is still burning in the background. If you can convince the Broken Tusks to surrender, Amka, only the adults will be put to the flame. The children and the elders can receive the honor of conscription or enslavement with their true family.
Look, you are responsible for the death of our grandfather and one of the only people left in this world who I loved. All you are now to me is a target.
Good. If I'd known what I know now, I'd have run him through myself.
Stupid posturing, Barthen. You know it. Think about it. Look what Ivarsa sent you to do. Go ahead, bring down the snowy avalanche, block the path. This was her plan. And where does it leave you? Buried beneath a mile of snow. That's what she thinks of you.
His hand kind of go up to his chest. And he's got this big bone necklace, the same one that he had before, with this small little rabbit skull in the front and a few ribs on the front. He's had basically since childhood. He hasn't gotten rid of that. But below it, he has a small, what looks like it's almost a knot of wood, blackened with small bits of dull red paint carved with a trunk, a tusk, a few little stubby legs, a very crude little deep red and brown mammoth that looks like it has been bound onto the front of his hide armor here. His hand goes up to it. Fine then. I'm committed to my destiny. If you want to stop it, try.
One more question before we begin, Barthen. What happened that night?
As if you care.
I'm legitimately curious. How did you go from diving into the fray to joining them? Last I saw, you had 2 people pierced on a spear.
I ran 3, 4 of them through at the edges of Rockloom. But you know, maybe you're not all wrong. Maybe I pushed it too hard. I couldn't fight all of them. Hit a stand, but they took me down. They didn't kill me. They saw what I could do. They saw how I stood, how I fought. They know I have the blood of mammoth lords in me. And they took me to their war chief. I met with Ivarsa. And now I'm here. She told me everything. Do you even know what your family is running away from? Do you even know what they did? What my great-grandmother did?
Forced the demons back. Closed the giant scar in the earth.
Stole this flame?
That is how they tell it, yes. We've heard some from captives and those we've overpowered. We have
You
to set it
still
right.
side with them?
We have to set it right, Barthen. We have to find this flame down. That's why we
There's
travel.
nothing to... He kind of looks back to the team. No. It's too late for that.
So what, we tear each other to pieces? No one finds the flame?
You can try. If you want to stop this, points back at the bonfires. You have to go through me. You have to go through us.
How
And
many
let you do it.
left with you? How many did Ivarsa send with you?
Aside from the one you left scorched on a rock.
24.
You're all that's left.
And how many of yours have been lost?
We
None.
found more friends on the way. The tusks are stronger.
Our numbers have only grown.
Hey, Barthen. Did you ever find out who your mother was? Wasn't there some question about that at some point back when we were kids?
My mother hardly matters. My father was a hero.
Yeah, but
And our grandfather was the man
isn't it funny?
who ruined everything.
Isn't it funny that your mother doesn't get mentioned that often?
Why? I respect her as I would any ancestor for bringing me to the world in the light of Sister Cinder, but she died in childbirth. You know this.
Yeah. Funny that. You know, I heard a different story.
What?
No, I don't think I'll tell you.
Well, you're welcome to stand here as long as you want. The fires are hot. They're doing their business. We talk it out long enough, we won't even need to fight over it.
They still tell stories about you, Barthen. How strong you were that night. If you die here, I think we'll let them keep telling them. At least let people think fondly of you in some sense.
We didn't tell anyone you were a traitor.
I should have killed you back at the river.
Remember, it's never too late.
Come along then.
Let's begin.
Let's get this over with.
Look at the
Let's-
shiny new stick I got.
Roll
Look at this.
some initiative, my friends.
I never thought I'd actually burn this on an initiative check, but yeah, I need that reroll pretty badly. That's
Yeah,
a
same.
terrible initiative.
Please know to everyone, I'll take all these hero point cards.
There we go.
Way
I got
better.
5 higher.
I got 16 higher.
I went from a 3 to an 8. That's better.
Would scouting apply?
Yeah, definitely you're scouting. You're definitely just like standing here ready for action.
Hey, they're
You all
about
got
to
your
fire.
weapons out.
Would I be allowed to start with shield up?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm
As
sure
is-
everybody
as
who
is
has
Barthen.
shields is starting with their shields up.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You ready for this?
Let's do this.
All right. You guys would probably be a bit closer up than that. Like you weren't screaming at each other across the canyon. Move them like, maybe look at one back from them. Give them like a 10, 15, give them like a 15-foot back. Give them like southeast 5. There you go, solid. I'll take that.
That works.
Ozosh,
24.
Onwe.
That's going to be a 29, I'm sorry.
Ooh, solid. Verja, or I'm
21.
sorry.
Oh,
18.
18, Verja 21.
yes.
Ozosh had 24.
Yes.
Amka.
18.
I will definitely like to go first.
I would definitely like to go first.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
You can
first.
roll it off if you want to.
I don't
off.
care. I don't care that
I'll go
much.
first.
Let the cast to go first.
So, here's Barthen. Oh no. With the purple bit.
He's drowning.
Barthen gets a 27. Here is, I believe, 3 of the long shield bearers.
Are they the ones up closer?
This one,
This
this one,
group
and this
is-
There's
Oh, I
the
see it.
one
I see
one
it.
right behind Barthen and 2 furthest back.
We got him.
I have stats everywhere.
So many stats.
I think it's every Burning Mammoth stat block from the entire book, except the.
Surely you
ones.
prepared ahead of time, put them all on a single piece of paper.
Nope. They are gonna get. Virgil, what did you get? 20?
I got a 21.
I got a 19. So
Either way.
shield bearers are right in here. We have the hunters which are the two kind of in the middle. The Javelineers, the spearmen you fought so many times.
The trash.
More or less. They are going to get a 17. They're going to be down here. And we have one
Bongo boy.
Burn Bearer. I believe a type that we haven't actually seen since the Night of
Does
the
not
Green
sound
Moon.
familiar.
The Torch Fighter. Who's
Bears
going to
the
get a 20, which would put him right here.
Glad for that scouting bonus right now.
Scout bonus getting you up there. And as we come up to the map here, shout out real quick to Arkin Forge, another one of our wonderful sponsors. The tabletop we're using here, designed for this kind of hybrid display. We've got a monitor face up on the table, so we still got all the fancy art. We're not using the dynamic lighting much here. It's a huge canyon, but you get to keep all that, sight lines, spell effects. It's really easy to run from one setup. And it's a full-bodied map creator as well that you can build total scratch from the ground up. Code's down below. 2 perception still works. We'll be switching it over soon, but Hanwi, you kick this off.
Almost ready for it. Light flares along her tattoos and forms into a sphere in her hands. Light of the moon form to my hands and become a storm, and she's going to charge it and continue to charge it as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's her turn.
As you line this up, Barthen, shield up, spear in hands. Spear in hand is going to lunge forwards directly towards Aram. And you see this burn across his face kind of wrinkle up with just the rage in his eyes. I'm not gonna let you take this from me! I finally have a real family! And as he jumps forward, thrusting out with the spear.
Blend your way. Magic will flare up and lose the path is cast as a reaction. He has a will save.
Ooh. He is going to get a 27.
A 27 is a normal success. He'll fight off the effects and charge in.
Does it do anything on a normal success?
It does not.
Okay.
How much you take?
And he comes in, you see him really just hone in, focused on Aram here. Once of Falcon House, once a brother, striking forth with this spear. He is going to get, I'm starting big, a 31.
That is a crit.
You're going to take 24 points of piercing damage as he just slams the tip of this spear into Aram's chest. And seeing it punch right through Aram's armor and dig in, there's a moment even on Barthen where he sort of falters. You see him stab and thrust in, but as it hits, there's a flash of uncertainty. He pulls the spear back out
That feel good?
and puts his shield up. Ozash.
Well, I'm going to move around to the other side of Artem to where I'm at somewhat of an angle, and I'm going to, as I whip around to the other side, my axe at the ready. Get down. Be Fusk! Shockwave. And I'm going to angle it to where I can try and hit as many as Barthen and as many of the
You
dudes
can hit
behind me.
Barthen and it's 15 feet. It can't hit Barthen and anyone else. He's 15 feet from the rest of the mammoths.
If you move,
You can run to
Three
like the
squares,
back
yeah.
line,
If you move to like over here, you could hit 4 people, but that's the best you're gonna
but
get.
you can't hit Barthen and anybody.
Okay.
He moved
Well,
15
I guess I
feet
could
up.
do that.
Okay, you can rush over to the side of one of these great bonfires on the ground here. You need to be like, that's a bonfire, so probably out around the side of it.
Oh, you can go straight in front.
Yeah, and as you go to rush past Barthen, his shield up, he whips the tip of the spear around towards Ozash as he passes. Did you raise your shield first?
I shield before initiative, yep.
It's your turn. It's not still up anymore. You have to
You
put
don't
it up
have
as part of your
reactive
turn.
shield.
Do you have reactive shield?
I don't think so. I think it's a champion
That's a
thing.
champion thing.
I think that's a champion thing.
32.
That is unfortunately a crit.
It's not going to stop you because we learned back in Age of Ashes I was doing it backwards. It doesn't interrupt movement actions. It was those Shiruko that ruined my perception forever.
Stupid tails.
You're going to take 26 points of piercing damage as Barthen gets a solid slam of this tip into your waist as you push by. But you get where you're going, and you can still drop the shockwave. Which means I need like 4 reflex saves.
Yep. Be Fusk. You said how much was it?
26.
26. Okay. Jeez.
Definitely 2 fails. Followed by fail, and the one in the back, which is the burn bearer, you got natural 1 critically fails.
Ooh. Right, so
Okay,
fall, and then takes your strength damage and falls.
The one who critically failed takes a D6.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, it's better than just taking
4.
strength.
Yep, and yep, they are all prone.
That guy falls down, takes 4 damage. Very
After
good.
I take the hit, I'm just like, and a little bit of blood coming, down my cheek here. I'm like, take advantage now while you can. I'll hold them off as long.
And you slam the whole horde to the ground with an absolute banger of a shockwave.
So, taking advantage of this new opening, I'm going to move in behind Barthen and take up that position there. Start raging as I look at him. One of us? Traitor. Not anymore. And just swing at him. Because I already saw that he lunged out. I've got that opening.
He's got a pretty small shield, more of a buckler than like a
That
proper
would have been
shield.
a terrible roll. 19. Hey. Another 19. So, 28
28 will definitely hit him.
to his flanking.
Yeah, he definitely.
Yeah.
28 still does not crit
Yeah.
flanking him, but it will hit him.
For 12 damage.
All right. And you raged, I assume?
Yes.
I didn't hear that, but okay, rage and
over,
move
and
up.
then attack.
So, on the ground here, the one that's the furthest back is gonna stand up, and he's got what looks at first like a little torch in his hand, but it's a very short little rod, the size of one of the smallest of branches, very thin and narrow. As he moves out a little forward, kind of diagonally, moving up to about in line with Ozash and maybe 15 feet out to the side, he drags it across the ground and swings it forward, where the tip of it explodes with a shower of bright red sparks just kind of fountaining out from it, billowing out a small column of smoke as well, before he just throws it back towards, it's not really at, it's too small to be dangerous. He just kind of throws it and it skitters to a stop on the ground at your feet. Shield lads, we have one in the back who is going to stand up, or one in the front, sorry, who is going to stand up in front of Ozash here from Dispel, riding themselves. They are then going to move around the right side of Ozash and Verja, their shield upraised, and they are going to attempt to slam Verja back away from Barthen and towards this massive roaring bonfire behind him. And they put their full force into this like much larger gnarled wooden shield they have, slamming into you as they come around for a 15.
Nope.
So it regular succeeds and will push you back 5 feet, not into the bonfire, but right up uncomfortably close against it. And with that much force slamming behind the shield, they're not even using it as a guard anymore. Their guard is dropped, their shield is out.
Following, I assume.
They're absolutely going to follow with that. They're totally open. The two in the back have their shields and their spears. One of them is going to move once up alongside Ozash. The other is going to move twice up to the right side of Aram, kind of joining this fight with Barthen here. The one that has to move twice to get down towards Aram is going to come in using almost backwards, this weird backwards fighting you saw a couple of times with these guys, using your spear almost defensively and coming in and taking a slam up, much like Ozash does with their shield. Shield slam on Aram is Well, if I roll 1s on every save and 18s on every attack, we'll have an interesting fight. 26.
It's a hit.
And it's just a shield strike, so it's just 7 points of bludgeoning damage. But in that single motion, they're going to bring the shield up in front of them. Much the same is going to happen to Ozosh as they attempt to swing at him with their shield for a 25.
That is a hit.
Bonking you for 6 points of bludgeoning damage, putting their shield up, and then almost setting their spear with it. Just a quick thrust out following for like an 8. So
I'm just gonna.
yeah, follow-up thrust definitely not going to land. And as they all get this pushed around,
That was Torchbearer and Shield.
Torchbearer and Shield guys, because they're together, yep. So the only ones that shouldn't have moved are the hunters who are still laying on the ground. So okay, I'm doing it. I'm keeping track of the 50 parties involved in this fight. I'm doing good so far. This is a
I'm also
complicated
trying to
one
keep
on my
track
side.
of it.
Bear with me. Feel free to aid me. I have a lot of moving parts here.
You're good, dude.
I'm just trying to remember who was
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
I actually wrote it down right here. If you want to, this is the Javelin Hunters, this first skull up right here. This is Barthen.
Yep.
This is the guy who just threw a weird little flare, and this is the Shield Bearers.
I'm sure that flare is unimportant and has nothing to do with anything.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
As we move around to
Definitely not a
Amka,
stick of dynamite.
as you see this bright spray, it's very thin, like
firecracker.
less than a finger. It's putting out a pretty impressive and very bright spray of, again, these like vigorously red sparks, and putting the smoke, a thin but bright, equally bright trail, thick but not like enough cloud to obscure your vision or anything, up into the sky. You see in the distance some of the massive figures on the far peak stoop down and reach toward the mountain.
Are you telling me
He called an artillery.
I have a lot of moving parts in this fight.
calling an artillery strike on me?
I don't know.
He got his kill streak.
If you stand there, you can find out.
Definitely not standing
Here
here.
we go.
Amka's gonna quickly run around to right here, next to the bonfire. Like, I feel more comfortable next to Flame. And as she's giving out her prayer, Sister Cinder, guide us, strike true. She's gonna pull the flames off the bonfire and imbue his weapon with it.
Magic Verja.
Magic
Smacker.
Verja.
Smash.
Solid. Yes.
So
Arm.
what's above the flame? You've got the tarps that are above the flame.
There's like some thin little tarps that are just kind of muting the smoke to make it less visible from the entryway of the camp. It's sort of diverting it into the snowpack where it's kind of dissipating and thinning, but the heat of the fire itself, you can see the shifts in the air of this column of this incredible temperature rising up into the snow above.
Okay. How big are the bonfires? Like huge?
They're very large. They are like 8 feet around. They are taller than any one of you. They brought a huge amount of kit to set these up.
What is the if I was gonna try to put one of those out
Okay.
in combat, like what would the process for that be? Like, is there like a system
what are you
for
gonna
that?
do? What's your plan?
My plan would be to run over there, take the huge kit that I have from my pup tent, and literally just try to snuff it out with that.
Absolutely, I would let you move up and attempt that
Then that's
for sure.
That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, so you can move up, kind of, sort of just moving around Barthen to the side of the
Yeah.
bonfire as one action.
'Cause I saw that
pulling
he
out
already
this
used his
kit
thing.
and trying to do this as a second. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like throwing this out over
Throwing
the
this
bonfire.
out over the bonfire.
Pup kit.
Make me a my brain says crafting check is what would there's
Or
not
survival?
Like, I will give you survival. I'll absolutely give you survival for that.
Snuff a flame.
Absolutely snuff a flame with survival. I'm like, there's not rules for this, so we're in uncharted territory.
There is a rule
But-
for this. GM has final say.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm like,
That's why I asked.
I was like, crafting sounds good. I don't know.
Okay, that's going to be a 25.
So you have this pup tent that's slicked, meant for a camp. It is meant to be inflammable, which means both flammable and not flammable. But in this case, it means not flammable. And as you throw it over, using the rest of the last action of your turn, trying to get it around, you smother a great amount of this fire. And you, even using the size and weight of it, able to pull down some of the sticks and the lumber of this bonfire and topple it over into the stone of the wall to your left.
Help me! The point is to keep the following alive.
Barthen, there's no point. Nothing you do here is going to keep the following alive. Everyone you know is dead. And the 2 hunters are going to stand up. There is a huge kerfuffle in front of them.
You might say
This is what happens when you go last. They are each going to move twice, and they are going to come around the outside of this whole fight and sort of end up on the 2 squares just right where they are, a little further in, just kind of right next to that finger, a little bit southeast, that finger of earth
right
there, like there and there exactly. Their eyes flitting between Hanwi and Amka.
They came over to see what the pretty light was.
What?
The artillery strike.
You see 2 things happen. The first, one of these massive figures from this far side hefts up and pulls back and hurls. And you see an enormous piece of spiraling stone and ice sailing through the air. These guys are like a quarter mile away. It will take several seconds from him throwing it for it to reach the valley here, but you see it get launched. And as you're looking up that way, you see a flash of light, like a spray of sparks from a fire. And atop the entire snowpack, another figure appears. She has wild brown hair let loose around her head, barely restrained by a dark red headband. Blue war paint down her jaws and a stripe across her eyes. She is kitted in a panoply of metals and hides and furs. And as she comes in with 2 hands holding an enormous steel great axe. The 2 sides of the blade at the head fixed across a massive deer's skull, brought across with paint as well. She looks a little bit like this.
Hey, I recognize that.
Oh, boy.
That's the cover of the book.
That's the frozen flame.
She has a massive fur cloak billowing down behind her as she arrives in a step atop the snowpack and catches her feet for a moment. She puts one hand up, almost like a gesture of showmanship, and calls down towards the group here. Oh, Barthen, must I do everything myself? And a big smile across her face. And she raises that free hand up into the air. And you see Barthen grinning. Hanwi.
Well, I can only hope that standing a couple squares over from this flare is going to get me out of the immediate crush you heck of damage.
Rocks fall.
Because I have to spend the next 3 actions casting this spell.
You are currently adjacent to the flare. It is like
He's flare adjacent.
1
Yeah.
square behind you.
Yeah,
But
it's,
Idiot move.
It's sad. It's not a move. I didn't move, actually.
you are still pulling the 3
Still
more
pulling
actions.
his 3 more actions
Thunder
together.
Sphere.
I can't give it up now. And just swells up over her head, and she flings it into the middle of this shield guy who's literally looking like right there, who I think threw the shield up, so we'll see what happens.
Here's the shield up.
Smash it right in his face.
All the shield guys, other than the one that pushed Verja, have their shields up.
Okay. That's a 15.
15 with his shield up is going to miss.
He'll take half.
And he's going to take half and it's going to blow up.
So that's going to be 10, 14, plus 8, 22. He's going to take 11 electricity damage.
That's the half.
That's the half.
Man getting zapped. Okay.
Level 2 Horizon Thundersphere.
Oh, it's level. Oh, we got. Oh, right. We have level 2 magic now. Stuff does things.
And then it's going to explode out from him, and it's going to catch the 2 shield guys, Barthen, this shield guy, and unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's going to get Arm as well.
Would it not catch you as well?
It
How
will
big of
catch
a a
me
blast
as well.
is it?
Huh?
How
10
big?
feet. 10 feet
Does
emanation.
that not also hit you?
It will hit me, yes.
Oh, okay. It's going to hit you. It's going to hit Verja. It's going
I'm
to hit
15.
Aram. Oh, you're 15. You're 2 diagonals. You're good.
Yeah.
So you and Aram are both going to catch it.
Yep.
It's going to catch 5 enemies, 2 friendlies.
What
That's
is
not
it,
bad.
a reflex?
Reflex save.
Oh no, the thing that rangers are good at.
Well,
Not today.
you say that.
My reflex save. Also not today.
Oh, whoops.
We got the 2 hunters coming around the side with a 21 and a natural 1. So
Pass and critically fail.
So one's dead.
Well, I hope so.
Well,
They have no.
it's okay. She killed me too.
how much damage does it do?
It's the emanation damage is 10. 10 lightning.
And that's double than a critical failure?
Correct.
So one of those hunters just blasted,
I'm also
absolutely
down.
blasted to the ground by this.
And arms down.
Arm falls.
Good job.
Other hunter's going to take 5.
I guess you could say she's a knockout.
You're done from the 10?
Yep.
She got, he got
you did get
slapped
hit,
by
yeah.
I got slapped really hard, and then by the shield guy.
Yeah, Barthen, yeah, you got doubled on. Barton's going to get a 19?
Just passes.
All right, so he's going to take 5, I assume?
Yep.
Oh, man. 6 action, Horizon Thunder Spear, slaps. And we have 3 shield guys all getting hit?
No.
Oh, 2 shield guys. 2 shield guys
Yeah.
getting hit.
Well, no. The first shield guy doesn't take it. It's emanation.
Oh, okay. Let me just roll 1 then, because it was a natural 1 and a 19. I don't know who was who. And that's going to regular succeed, so he's going to take half.
Okay.
I'll take the natural 1.
Big blast.
And Hanwi has a corona of sparkling power around her now.
As we come
Try not to
around
forget that
to
this time.
Barthen here, and you see, and as he goes like readying, Arum falls over. He's got this big grin on his face, and he just turns over towards Hanwi. This is the kind of competence I expected from the Broken Tusks. And turns over towards Verja, tosses his spear, reaches back, and pulls out a different spear. One hafted with a metal tip with this kind of blackened ash shaft that you found back at the river.
I think I'll take it from you this time.
Only fitting. I'll put it through you. You can keep it. And takes a big thrust towards Verja. Barthen's pissed.
Oh no.
33.
Oh, yeah, he's going to crit me.
Barthen's pissed.
I'm already ready to take off about 28 damage.
20 points of piercing damage.
Wow, okay.
And then he's going to keep his shield raised there, bringing us around to Ozash.
Okay. Which one of the 2 guys next to me has his shield up, or are they?
The one to your right, between you and Verja, does not have a shield up because he just big slammed to try and
Okay.
push Verja back
Well, I'm gonna turn to him,
south of you.
and I'm going to Samoyhiti, produce flame spell strike on that one.
Okay.
Bonk.
I'm just gonna try and clear out as many of the little guys as I can. I'm gonna actually use this card. I hate the fact that I have to do it, but I'm gonna use reverse strike. If I would fail an attack roll, I succeed instead.
Oh, it's the best card in the deck. Instead of failing, don't. It's such a good card. All right, so
That's worth.
bringing
That's
your
really
eggs
worth.
down with the shield guys are not nothing. We learned that. They were the boss
I,
at the.
I remember very wholeheartedly.
They are playing here.
the
it even
the first
work.
time smacked me around pretty good.
That's
So
2 strikes for the price of 1.
No, that's a 4. Okay. That's gonna be not very big on the damage on this one, so that's gonna be 9 fire and slashing.
Okay, 9 fire and slashing damage you bring down. With them a little offset from the Horizon Thunder Sphere, that's still almost enough to bring them down.
With my
Because they
last
hit the lightning.
action, he's going to follow up with another classic Skadurda Hogva shielding strike. Minus 10.
Minus 10, yeah. Get it in there.
14?
14 just doesn't. It's close.
But it still raises my shield.
your shield's
which is
still
more
up, yep.
important.
Verja.
So, I'm going to look at Barthen and say, now that you're a burning mammoth, I can add you to the tally of how many I've slain. And that's going to be an 18 to try and intimidate.
18. Barthen is not afraid of you. He's got a big smile on his face.
Well, we'll see if he's smiling after I flatten the guy beside him.
Thinking
Nat
about
1.
the cards.
Do it. Why are you thinking, Dirt?
because these cards are very good for what's about to happen to me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
I would rather keep these for later. I'll
Right,
just take the miss.
Big swing.
and then swing again.
Big miss.
18.
-5.
So 23.
23 will absolutely hit. Like at
22.
-5, I'm still absolutely hit. So their shield's down. It's a long shield with no shield. They're just a long.
That is a 9, 14.
Super dead, yeah. With the Horizon Thunder Sphere and the Spell Strike, the first of the shield bearers is smashed down.
Up and then down.
Around
Swung down and missed and then golfed.
As you swing that down, everyone, you have the Great Hammer now, right? You have
Yep.
the ball. You hear this
yes.
like thunderous slam of Verge's hammer on stone, the crunch of bone, and then hear a much larger, thunderous crash as this huge ball of ice and stone slams into the ground behind Hanwi. Hanwi, I need a reflex save.
Oh no.
You are in the half zone.
Yay.
You're in the splash zone.
There's a warning.
9.
You critically fail.
Yay.
What's that
So-
noise?
So you're in the regular zone, I guess, more or less.
It's just I keep seeing you pick up dice.
So you're going to take 10 points of bludgeoning damage from this impacting
This doesn't
behind
have
you.
listed damage. It's just however many dice the GM feels like rolling.
I was on the fence, like, because I'm like, part of the screen here is I'm on the fly. I'm like, we'll see. The little burn bearer back there is going to pull out a second one of these little sticks, strike it across the ground, and toss it over the flight.
I still
Or
did most of the damage to more damage to myself than this.
over the fight where it tumbles down the backside of the bonfire again at Amka's feet.
I feel targeted.
That's because you are. The shield bearers, the two that are still here, one of them is going to 5-foot step into the gap between Verja and Ozosh, closing that off and kind of locking ranks with Barthen here. You're not hurt at all. Are you hurt?
Oh, I'm very hurt.
You're very hurt? Then he's definitely going to turn towards you with this big sweeping slam of his shield.
I think Amka's the only person not hurt.
I remember Aram would be here because he went down to Hanwi's Blast. I was like, where are you actually at? 17.
He just buckles with his shield and then just shoves him off.
So yeah, and as you kind of keep locking them together for a moment, he pulls the shield up, ending up with it in front of him, and just takes another quick thrust with the spear, trying to keep his guard between the two of you that are before him. Ooh. Probably not. 18
Nope.
with a -5.
Just
Wouldn't even
glances
catch me.
it off.
Yeah, not quite going to do it. The other one,
Crit this one.
seeing this rock fall down, is going to move past the other side of Barthen. And he looks like he's moving towards Hanwi. And as he does, Barthen kind of turns over towards the side. Finish him. The Longshieldman is going to look, turn, and thrust his spear down into Aram.
So moved up to here.
Moved up on the other side of Barthen. Stabs Aram. Aram's dying too. And then swings his shield out towards Hanwi.
You're finished your own job.
Does he still have to roll a hit?
Yes.
Okay.
That's like the thing that I'm
I got it,
stepping
got
up
it,
and
got
doing that. -5 because hitting Aram is an attack.
Cringe away.
Yeah, definitely not going to get it, but he's going to have his shield up there.
As he reaches and swings through the aura around her, he takes 2 electricity damage as
Ooh.
it burns away at his arm.
Ooh. Okay.
This is like,
Does indeed. And he's pretty hurt because he took the big Horizon Thundersphere blast. So it's taking a little bit more of that as he's trying to press in and end this threat. He's staggering a bit. Amka.
As my words speak truth, your wounds will heal. I'm gonna cast 2nd level heal onto Aram as he's just sitting down in front of me, kind of bleeding. So,
How about you don't die, please?
it's a 7 plus 6, 13 plus 16, so
29.
29 math, quick maths.
Aram's up. 29 health.
And then is going through the bonfire's been smothered, right?
Yes.
I'm moving
Slip
through
behind it. Yeah, difficult terrain probably because it's all been knocked over that way.
I'm gonna slip right here.
Barthen just calls out, "Without your devil magic, what would you even be?
The magic of Sister Cinder and her blessings.
My ancestors existed to kill your kind."
This is why I never liked you.
I don't think he's listening.
Oh, I don't care.
He never listens.
Rock. The distance getting lifted. Minion 1 is Hunters, which is just Hunter now. There's only one of them. She is going to move up and kind of scoot around Hanwi to take up a flanking position with the shield bearer before swinging out a bit with the spear here, having circled around to the back line.
Please down yourself on electric damage.
Would be fantastic, honestly, but we'll see. So Hanwi against your flat-footed, it's going to be an 18.
18 will hit.
You are going to take 3 points of piercing damage.
She's kind of wincing and bloody.
Second swing. It was the same roll, so I'm going to assume that 5 lower than that probably doesn't hit you.
Now she'll cringe away from it. Cringing, it helps.
I try that. I get crit.
Cringing effective.
She takes 2 lightning damage.
Takes 2 lightning damage. Which is actually the first that she's taken because she critically succeeded the Horizon Thunder Sphere thing. Up top. Hand up in the air. All of you can see her forearm exposed out from her cloak and her armor. And she's got blue tattoos. Columns of what look like runic symbols, kind of akin to what Ozosh has studied. She's up on this snowpack, probably 50 feet above the party, so it's at a bit of a distance. But as she raises her hand up, a few of the runes start to like shimmer and spark. And she hauls her axe up with her other hand, having to like swing it to mount it up on her shoulder due to the weight of this massive steel blade. Sphira Thamai! And at that, several of the runes ignite, and this fire rushes up her arm to coalesce into her hand, where she heaves the axe up to grab it with her free hand, and the fire shoots up into the blade, the head of her axe becoming a massive sphere as she slams it down on the snowpack beneath her, and it explodes. A massive fireball engulfing the cliff up above you, flinging wads of snow and ice down onto the fight below. As the fire clears in a moment, you see her standing there. Perfectly fine, completely unharmed, and pulls her axe back up. Remember, Barthen? None alive. Aram,
Did that do anything, or?
as it comes to you, this snowpack she's been standing upon, she's now about 2 feet lower in it. And you all start to hear more of these onerous, deep cracks and thuds. Wads of snow and ice start to drop off of the wall around her, plopping into the area. You hear a rumble start in the distance. At about this same time, you took quite some time exploring the caves and readying and preparing yourselves. You're kind of at this corner, Hanwi the furthest back, and maybe Aram on the ground can kind of see back around this bend towards the frozen pond. You see the head of the Broken Tusk caravan coming around. You've closed much of the distance while you've waited.
All right. Before I even stand up, I'm actually going to reach behind me and grab the little flame thing, the little marker,
Okay.
and I'm going to toss it and I'm going to put it right at Barthen's feet, like in between him and the other 2 guys.
All right. You slide it across the ground into the middle. That's 2 actions. One to grab it, one to slide it. So you got 1 left.
I am going to, I'm gonna try to slide myself toward where Hanwi is, like just on the ice, just to get away from this thing and kind of get over toward her to give them another, another
Go to
thing
crawl
to
away.
hit.
Barthen spins the spear in his hand and thrusts it down into your thigh. Or tries, anyway, towards your thigh. 23.
That will be a normal hit.
Regular hit. 16 points of piercing damage. He runs it through and pulls it out. Blood streaking across the stone as you crawl towards Hanwi.
Yeah. Okay. She's going to. How's that shield guy in front of me look? Does he look
Very injured.
very injured? Okay.
He is extremely injured.
Okay. And Barthen's right freaking there. Right. I'm so freaked out.
Told you it was going to be a final battle.
She's looking a little wide-eyed, a little panicked, a little injured, and she's going to go down on all fours and again take the form of the snow leopard and leap forward for this shield guy with jaws wide open.
He's got his shield up.
He wasn't expecting the ankles, though.
Natural 20.
I wasn't expecting the ankles.
He's hurt. He's going to try to block it.
It's 2d6.
He's got a wooden shield.
Mess him up.
18 piercing damage.
15. He's super dead, yeah.
Maul him on the ground, rip his
Yeah, he
throat
was
out.
not prepared to block a leopard. This was not a thing. He was aware it could happen. And as you rip him down to the ground, leaving Barthen here on the other side, his arm is crawling away. He stabs you and then looks down and sees the flare at his feet. And he is going to rush out to 10 feet out to the west, around the base west. You're looking at it backwards, remember, because you look at the top.
Yeah.
Around the base of the bonfire, just kind of coldly following after Aram. And look over towards Hanwi. Pick him up again. I'll take you next. Thrust the spear down towards Aram. Thir- 30.
That is going to crit.
I'm almost certainly put you down to dying 3.
Yep.
And then he looks over towards this leopard thing. You've just given into this weird witchcraft, this nonsense magic, and puts his shield up. Is this all you have to rely on?
Meow.
Ozash.
Oh man. Well, I'm just gonna stick with my original plan. I'm just gonna turn around and attack the guy right next to me. So
He's got a shield.
Boy, get deep.
The last of the shield bearers.
18.
The Malachi.
18 will hit him. Woo! They're
And-
not super high level. You
As
fought-
long as I hit him, that's all that matters.
Nice.
That's 3, 6, 12 plus 5,
18.
18.
He goes to
Or
block
17.
it. 17? Okay, he goes to block it, and this spell strike absolutely just shatters through this wooden shield, just destroying it utterly as the strike continues forward, slamming into the shield bearer and nearly striking him down in a single blow.
Sugavaga! And then Shostin strike again.
Do you have 2 focus points?
You should.
Yes, I have
Oh.
2.
Okay.
I have exactly 2. I'm gonna use it while I can.
Smack him.
I'm pretty sure that's a miss.
His shield's not up anymore.
Yep, but my shield's up again, so he kind of overextends, and then the magic draws the shield in front of his face again.
There's ya.
I see what Barthen's doing, and I really don't like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna completely ignore everything else that is happening and only attack Barthen for the rest of this fight. I will
Angry.
follow him to the ends of the world until my rage runs out.
Angry.
But yeah, just attacking Barthen.
As he gets his thrust, he hears you wind up and sort of
Yep.
pivots to
That's a 1. I'm
put the
swinging
shield
for
in
the
the way. You're
fences.
mad. Verge is losing it.
That's a 2. Counting up. I'll get there in 18.
Verge is losing his mind. You've seen this rage before.
Another 1.
My
Verge
God.
has gone
man.
back
RNG is now.
to the rage he had at the beginning of the campaign when he just lost all control, swung wildly. Over the spring, he has made it a valuable asset, but he has come back to this just wild swinging now. And as we go here to the burner, the stone is going to crash down on the shielder and on Verja, next to both of you. So reflex save against the half. Shield bearer got a natural 1. He's super dead. There's no way that guy survives that. Sliding the flare over, absolutely taking that guy down.
11.
And 11 is going to regular fail.
Hey.
3 points of bludgeoning damage, which I guess was only
Hey.
6 on that guy, but he's still definitely dead.
I mean, I'm literally swinging a
Hold
sledgehammer.
on, I need more
offensively.
space.
Uh-oh.
I'm running out of room.
The face fell on him.
I need more initiative. So, I'm gonna give you a choice.
Yep.
Unconscious child who is desperately wounded on the ground. Would you like to be player 3 has entered the game?
What's player 3?
Stats on this card.
Sure.
Happy face.
He has
You
friends.
see the following coming around the bend in the distance as they are approaching. And at this massive burst of fire, the sounds of battle surely ringing down the canyon. Coming sprinting around the corner, long spear in hand, or short spear in hand, you see Wotan.
Yeah.
His face gritted, focused and grim as he rushes in. Do you know what sudden charge and power attack do?
Yes.
Wotan.
Ooh, sudden charge.
So you would need to,
So I need how
you
far
would
away
take,
am I?
an action would get you up to the hunter on the outskirts. Sudden charge would get you 30 feet further than that if you,
To Barthen, for
You
example.
to
can
Barthen. You
Yeah,
could sudden charge Barthen.
I'm sudden charging
go
Barthen.
to anyone.
No, I'm sudden charging Barthen. I was deciding whether or not I wanted to power attack or sudden charge, but I didn't know exactly where I was, so
Fair
I would
enough.
like to sudden charge Barthen.
Here's a Wotan. It's a little satyr guy because I
looks
wanted
like
to
him.
look notably different than the rest of the.
Mini.
Oh, perfect! Grab a mini. You're a genius.
Why'd you grab Raz?
Raz?
Because he's the closest.
Makes perfect sense.
How about Dalrin?
All right.
Right there in front of the chest. Yep, that guy.
Guy with spear?
Dalrin's a spear elf. Perfect.
Traitor! Fool!
Dead.
That's gonna be a 34.
34 is going to critically hit.
Yes.
And that's power attack.
Die, child
No,
of
that's sudden
darkness!
charge. I was gonna say if that's power attack, he might be dead.
It's gonna be 18 piercing.
Okay.
Solid.
And a solid blow as Wotan rushes in here and just completely expertly dipping around Barthen's shield. He takes his stumbles and grits his teeth. If I kill a Mammoth Lord, the war chief will see my potential. I am the only one worthy of being a Mammoth Lord here.
You are a child, only worthy of the ground that I'm about to put you into. Demoralized.
Wotan's bloodthirsty.
Demoralized check.
Such an angry elf.
Nope,
That's gonna be a
another 17.
34.
34. He's very frightening. You see Barthen kind of shy back, sort of a glimpse of the young boy you grew up with in his face for a moment as his eyes widen. His fear.
I've never seen the initiative track this long before.
I told you I had a lot of moving parts in this one. I had a.
You want to take that off?
It's very hot. I'm actually gonna take it off. I'm invested. I'm sweating, man.
I see that you're struggling with
I'm
it.
sweating. I'm sweating over here. Okay.
So many.
We have no shield bearers left. This is no longer an initiative. Amka.
Only a coward strikes those who have fallen. By the truth of my words, your wounds heal. Arm again. Arm, if you can hear me, get the hells out of there now. For 27, because I forgot the +1 from the staff last time, because that is out.
27. So Aram is conscious on the ground.
Yes.
But at this point, wounded and injured enough, he's kind of out of it. If you want to swap back over, let me know.
Aram's pretty damn injured. Unless Hanwi looks like she's gonna die, I'm probably not switching out.
You have one action left, Amka.
I just want to throw something at him.
Barthen?
Yeah.
Maybe a ranged attack roll.
Just pick up a
You can piece of coal, a rock from the bonfire, a piece of wood.
range attack roll. That's Dex, right? 17.
What did you roll?
A 16.
How it can't possibly. You're trained, so that's
I'm trained.
4.
Plus
Then
4, so 21. If it's Dex.
okay, it is Dex. Yeah.
Yeah, 21.
21 is gonna hit and just kind of glance like it misses by 1.
Yeah.
1. So it's just gonna kind of bonk off the back of his head, and you see Barthen fear in his face. He doesn't immediately react. He's kind of frozen.
In Infernal, I'm actually going to say to him, you get one chance to surrender. Losing myself at this point.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
This hunter, back behind Hanwi, sees this elf run in and just kind of looks up towards Barthen. What do we do? And she's, your job! Kill her! And he turns and just starts trying to stab Hanwi. 9?
He takes 2 electric damage.
I can't strike her! Bring her down, or I'll bring you down!
Typical Barthen bullying the weak.
Keep licking.
12?
2 lightning damage.
And she kind of stumbles, slipping with one hand on this, and just one more for a 7.
2 lightning damage?
Hits and sort of just crumples and falls.
Oh my god.
She did it.
Yay.
She killed herself in her confusion.
And drops herself. The rumble intensifies. Wads of stone and ice start to fall down from the ridge above. I need everybody to make a reflex save.
Oh no.
16.
Stupid question. Is it magical?
No, it's not.
It was magically
It
induced.
started magically, but now it's just a regular landslide.
Nice.
Bad at these.
19 will pass.
16.
16 will fail.
Aram gets a 26, and
Arms taking half.
Wotan gets a 28.
Or Wotan takes nothing.
17.
Fails.
Hanui gets an 11.
Fails. No critical failures. It's going to be 5 points of damage. So 2 if you're taking half, 5 if you're taking full.
So take 2.
Barthen's actually going to take full.
That's my temporary health.
He's terrified.
Yeah, Barthen's with that frightened. It's a frightened modifier that did it too. Who else is left in here? There is the Burn Bearer. The Burn
We're
Bearer.
just ignoring him. He's in the background chucking little flares, and we're just like,
He's throwing little flares.
living your best life, buddy.
So it is actually now just the woman on the ledge, Barthen, and the Burn Bearer. Burn Bearer is going to take 5.
That's the most he's taken all fight.
He took hit 4 on him already from something previously. I don't know if it was a thunder. It wasn't a thunder. Something hit him. Somebody hit him with something.
It was a
took
shockwave.
He fell from shockwave.
critical fail.
That's what it was like. I only took something.
Down and
And he
yeah.
staggers a bit. The Burn Bearer is going to look up to the cliff. What, Chief? You would sacrifice us? And he just kind of got our axe down. The clench of her fist, she winks back out of existence and disappears again,
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
just leaving the area.
I see Conway.
And now this is much easier to manage.
We doing it.
It's coming down. Hanwi, as we come to you, you would see another shimmer and flare of this brief corona. This time, instead of at the top of the ledge, about 20 feet back from you, as a flash, and you see a massive leg reach in, and a huge, hulking giant appears in the pass behind you. A massive battle axe readied in his hands.
Oh boy.
Okay. Like
He's a little,
he's
right
a little
on the
ways
frame
away,
here, right on
but
the
like
frame.
I can just like turn around and see him.
He's like 20 feet back from you, probably. He shows up and raises this up. And as he goes and gets ready to charge forward, you see his eyes kind of widen. He lets go and puts one hand up to his temple, and his head reels back. And you see kind of behind him, Harik come around incanting something as Murthig rushes in, a battle axe wreathed in golden flames, charging towards this frost giant. Hanwi.
Those are our elders.
We know what a Jotun looks like. We've talked to him before.
Hami's gonna see that and just kind of
Focus, Hanwei.
okay, I've got it. Spin back around and focus on this the stone that is in this harness hanging off of her that Aram actually put together for her. And with a single action, it's going to swell with moonlight, and that's going to knit some of her injuries closed. That's going to be what it's called, the familiar ability healing.
Oh, your little pet rock.
Pet rock heals me for 5 health.
Woo! Go, pet rock, go!
Go, pet rock. And then
Hey, listen.
as her eyes kind of clear a bit, she'll look up at the torchbearer and sprint across behind him with a 40-foot move, and just grab him in the hamstrings with her jaws as she rushes past.
He's looking up towards where the war chief just disappeared from. He doesn't even see as you run by.
For a 16.
16 will hit him.
I see what you did there.
7 points of piercing damage. And rip his leg, pull his leg down, rip his throat out on the ground.
Bloody.
Leopards don't kill people nicely.
Animal.
Animal.
So as you throw him down, Barthen here, with Wotan now engaging with him, looks over towards the frost giant, back towards the party. You can't stop the whole horde. The war chief's resources are endless. And he's gonna spin his spear around and just swing it back in a sweeping strike towards Verja. Super cocked. 25.
That'll hit.
It's gonna hit you for 14 points of piercing damage. And then just as the swings, follow up a quick second thrust.
Still at me?
Still at you, 17.
No.
And that one's gonna miss, and he pulls his shield back up again. His shield towards Wotan, his spear sweeped around towards Verja. Ozash.
Now's the time. I'm going to. Oh yeah, he's kind of in a weird spot, but I'm gonna pull up as close to him as I can. And as I'm running, you see Ozash screaming, "Ah! Sculptor Scott!" Scorching Ray spell strike.
Bonk.
That is a 24.
24 will hit. Oh, I totally didn't announce I used press on. He was immune to the frighten 2 for his swings. I have so many things. I had it up here in the plan.
No worries.
Yeah, I traded this. But your frighten 2 was in there. I used the hero point card for it. Sorry, he's frightened 1 now. I have so many things.
You're doing great. You're doing better than the sound mixer.
21 fire and slashing.
Ooh. A big strike from behind kind of crumples Barthen for a moment as we come around to Verja.
Still mindlessly cocking back and just trying to bring the weight of this hammer down on top of him, trying to break his guard, trying to force him to the ground, just like he was doing to Aram. Another 1.
Oh, losing his mind.
You know, actually, at this point, I think it's worth re-rolling that because I'm realizing I'm not going to get to use these.
This is the end. Use them if you got them.
Well, the conditions for those, I don't think I'm going to...
And Ozosh just got 5,000 points, so give it away.
Nice.
Giazzo's
Now we're talking.
Thank you.
All right,
Rage and
so
Fury.
27.
Oh,
27 will hit.
That was worth it to re-roll.
Hell yes.
All right, so 20 damage.
You slam the head of this massive great hammer into Barthen. He doesn't try to block it. He's got too much going on around him this place. Flat-footed. It sweeps him right off of his feet, and the head smashes his entire body down to the ground flat. As you lay him out on the stone here, pulling it back, he doesn't move. He's laying there. You hear a slam from further downfield and a crack as you see Merthig just get backhanded by this frost giant and go flying about 15 feet before he slams into a wall and just like kind of drops, picking himself back up and running right back in, axe overhead, completely undeterred. Wotan looks at the group of you, nods, and turns around to charge back towards this frost giant to aid as he can. But as Barthen lays on the ground here, even all 5 of you together can barely take me.
Grandfather taught me how to slaughter an animal. Let me remind you. I'm gonna cut his neck. I don't want to hear any more from him.
He puts one hand up on this mammoth thing on his chest as you reach down, and you got to pull your sword out. You just drop your bow on the ground.
Dude, I've got a hunting knife. Screw my sword.
Drop your bow, or I guess let me.
I'm on the ground. I dropped my bow a long time ago.
Hunting knife, and just stick it in the Barthen's neck. And his hand
pull
just
across.
It just clenches and like crushes this strange little emblem on his chest. He jerks for a moment and then just lays still. And you see him, blood just gushing out from his neck. His eyes shoot open. What is this? She said it would take me out! And his body starts elongating and kind of warping. His jaw starts to distend. His hair pulls back into this crown of metal plates as his arms kind of fuse into his body through these agonized screams of pain. All of you are shunted back as he kind of bubbles and grows, his body distorting and warping into a horrible worm. His facial features collapsing into a single red eye atop a fanged maw as his screams of pain become a guttural roar. His hide armor ripping, the rest of his spears dropping to the ground as more of these plates, ridges, sliding down the whole of his body, erupt down him. And he transforms into this thing. Virgil, you still have an action.
Would I have been shunted far enough away I couldn't?
You would be in range. It's just because he's big. So,
okay.
it would push you all back to, you are next to him.
Well,
Oh no.
I would have never stopped raging because there's still an
Definitely,
NESC.
absolutely still raging.
Yeah. Swinging. I don't know what this is. I don't like it. Everybody's right here beside it. I got to do something about it. Second attack. 19.
Minus
So
5.
25.
25 will hit it.
Okay.
Hitting is important.
And that is 20 damage.
And as you slam into this thing for 20 points of damage, you crack through the armor plates, and it's almost like this thing's body is pressurized. As your head buries in a spray of almost clear but thick, frozen blood, literally leaving an arc through the air where it bursts, almost like a trail of steam hoses out towards you. Make me a reflex save.
Critical failure. Rolled a 3.
What's the total?
9.
You do, in fact, critically fail.
I'm a barbarian.
You're going to take double.
fort.
You're going to take 12 points of cold damage
Not down.
as this sprays out at you.
Or one more attack. I attacked Barthen once.
Twice. You missed the first one.
I rerolled.
You re-rolled it. You do have one more.
And that did 12, right?
Yes.
I'm up enough to make a third attack. Looking for that 20. It's a 3, just glancing off these huge metal plates.
Aram's still on the ground here, rolled across the stone by this transformation.
Aram's gonna take the shield out.
Yeah, shield and a hunting knife.
He's gonna get up, and then he's gonna raise the shield.
All right.
'Cause
Standing up, readied. Amka.
25.
I would argue.
Shout outs, by the way, not only to Sirenscape, another of our partners for this incredible audio, but for Arcadis over here running this thing, for building this like 20 phase evolving Sirenscape sound set for this fight specifically. Ooh, it's good.
I run by the bonfire instead. I like the fire. It's warm. By the truth of my words, your wounds heal on my good buddy here who has taken like 50 points of damage.
I have taken 54 points of damage.
Well, get 21 of that back.
And as this collapse continues, the chunks of ice and stone that are freeing themselves, that are tumbling down, only get larger as you start to see further up the pass the whole of the snow up in the distance start to sink and slide. Reflex save from everybody.
Oh no.
17.
19 again.
Fails, succeeds.
17.
Fails,
17.
fails.
One off.
17? You guys are right on there. It's literally 18.
18.
Succeeds! Okay. Woo. 8 points of bludgeoning damage. 4 to Aram. Natural 20 for
You said
whatever
8?
Barthen is now.
I am down.
Plates are too big.
And you're going to see this, as these fall, a huge chunk catch Ozosh and dash him to the ground as he falls. You're still up, Virgia?
Yeah, I got healed.
You got healed.
Oh, you got healed, right? You're good.
I had 2 health. I was not going to be up if I didn't get healed.
As the avalanche accelerates, you see Wotan rushing in, his spear in both hands, literally jumping up, trying to drive this into the thigh of the frost giant in the back as Murthig runs in, taking a big swing down at his ankles. You see magic, this kind of golden fire, the same that's enwreathing the head of Murthig's battle axe, coming out from Harik's hand as she incants something and it flows out towards Murthig. She's continuing this chant, her eyes literally closed, her other hand held high, as you can just hear her song in the distance. Hanwi.
Leopard eyes will kind of turn up and scan the cliffside as I see this snow start to come down. By my judgment, is this gonna? I need to know if this is unstoppable or
Give me a nature check.
nature check. 26.
26. This is an avalanche. That mountain is coming down. I cannot imagine with the resources you have
Ray of
how
Frost
you
is
are
not gonna
how you are
stop
going to
us on
prevent
this.
the whole. It's hitting the whole pass. Like if you are a more creative man than me, feel free. But that mountain and all of the snow on the side is coming down.
Not at level 2, I'm not.
The chunks hitting are getting larger and more frequent. The damage is increasing. It's going to hit harder.
Okay. Hanwi's going to cancel her animal form and stand up. We have to move. We can't stay here. The cliff's coming down. Quick! To the south. We have to get out. I guess this is my south. Am I got the south right? Did I get the direction right?
That's towards the Frost Giant, yeah.
But out of the damage, the rain of...
Towards the corner, it would be out, yeah.
Okay, so that's my move.
So escaping avalanche is back towards following.
Yes, you can see at the far end of this pass where it winds around past these bonfires, these massive kind of almost claw-like canyons that have come out of these side cracks. This whole canyon turns into yet another one. The reason this overhang is so thick is because the walls kind of arc in, and at the far end, it is actually a fully enclosed, about 40-foot high, massive tunnel that is the terminus of Rimecrag Pass. If that changes what you want to do.
It doesn't.
Okay, run away. Run away.
And I think I need another. I'm still in the. It looks like I'm still in the drop zone, so another move to step out. And Hanwi is actually leaving like bloody footprints as she runs.
This weird Barthen worm is just going to twist and writhe and roar in agony before it shoots its head and about a third of its body straight up in the air. And the armor plates running down its back almost flare out a little bit as these roars switch to a high-pitched, undulating trill. I need a will save from everybody.
That one.
15, regular fail.
19.
Regular fail.
19.
Regular fail.
I'm down.
You're unconscious. You can't hear anything. Regular fails, you're frightened 2. Nat 1, you are frightened 3. As this thing surges up and sort of
the thing I said about the cards not mattering.
rides,
Yeah.
Triggered when frightened.
rides, pulling itself around. Who is still next to Barthen? I can't see who's behind him.
Myself
Aram and Verja.
Yeah.
and
Ozosh is down.
Ozosh.
Ozosh is down. He is gonna bring around, and this roar, this trill, this screech, turned towards Verja, just honestly as the closest target that it sees. And he brings his head down awkwardly. He doesn't really bite towards you. He just kind of puts his jaw out and just sort of smashes his head down, slamming into the stone like he has no idea how to control this body.
Of course he doesn't. He just got it.
18.
He missed.
And it's gonna slam down right in front of Verja.
Way.
Right in front of Verja. And he rides it around a bit, the bottom jaw sweeping towards you with one last swing. 13. He's just almost, again, writhing in agony on the ground here. He can't bring any sort of proper attack. He literally doesn't know how to move.
You could say he's doing the worm.
Verja.
Sorry, couldn't help it.
Holding for a second, trying to process what the hell is going on. Still very mad. Does not stop being confused and frightened. So just holding.
Okay. Aram.
Aram is going to... Aram's gonna run the opposite way that Hanwi ran. Trying to get out of the pass, but trying to get out of the pass in the totally different direction.
And as we come to you and you start to run, you can see several of the hunters from the Broken Tusks, spears in hand, like 8 of them now rushing up, charging towards this frost giant to try to help. You can hear the trumpeting of mammoths around the corner. Your following is right there.
Come on!
Still fighting the frost giant. You're going to take off towards the opposite end of the board.
Yep.
And as we get to Amka, you see
Triple move.
what looks, I'll put her all the way to the edge. You see what looks almost like a bit of a blur rush past around this frost giant and speed up into near the center of this clearing and throwing a foot out and literally skidding to a stop. Nocta, running in at like 100 miles an hour here, hasted, sprints into the center, closes her eyes, throws up both her hand, Abjurum, Forticai, and casts them upward. And you would see a bit of a shimmer at the base of the cliff as a wall of force up at an angle, shielding most of you from the worst of the avalanche that is coming down, and then turns and looks back towards the frost and looks towards the group of you, sees Ojosh on the ground. Quickly, I do not know how long I can hold it.
So I'll step in after Amka.
I can't do much more than this. But the truth of my words, your wounds heal. My last, as I am excited, Amka is getting very pale. There's a lot of magical energy rushing through her right now. That's 12 plus 16, 28.
28?
28. And you said back this way there's a big...
Yeah, towards that corner of the screen, towards off to the east, the pass becomes a massive cavern.
So we have to get following there. We have to clear the way for the following. I'm going to sit here. I'm sitting here. That's the rest of my turn.
Okay.
As I call that out.
So Verja
So hearing this,
comes in.
seeing what's going on, frightened, not looking great. There's no choice but to hold the line. And I'm gonna swing. No clue what this thing is, but I can't let it get to the following. So that will be a 23.
23 will hit.
And that is including my frightened 3.
Fat rolls.
So 16 damage.
Now, notably, as you smash through this thing and break in, another spray of this strange frozen, is it even blood, spurts out from you. Make a reflex save. It recoils and rides like
15.
like an earthworm that's been stepped on. You're going to take 3 points of cold damage. Clearly not even just not in control, but losing almost further control in its agony.
Another attack. And that will go wide. Only a 7 for a 10.
10 definitely not going to hit.
And not sure what else I can do at this
Roll
point.
a 20. Do the malachite.
Do it.
That's a 10. That's close. Yeah.
Halfway there.
Halfway there.
Ozash, as you wake up, this healing surge filling you on the ground.
Well, I see a worm. I see Verja going nuts. I'm a little confused, but I do my duty. I stand back up, shield ready, and I'm just gonna take a raw swing at the worm.
Smack.
12.
You're a little shaky there. Hanwei, you hear a roar from behind you and then a crash. As you, well, I guess in front of you as you're running, you would see this before you as Merthig's axe swings the burst of this golden fire clean through one of the legs of this frost giant. This thing just topples over to the ground where Wotan drives its spear into the back of his neck. And Merthig thrusts his axe up in the air. Ha ha ha! Still got it!
Wow.
Looks up and sees Nocta and the avalanche and turns back. Come on! Hurry! And the Mammoth Lords start to come towards the group of you.
All right. I can't give up now. She's gonna turn back around and just kind of limp 25 feet back into the middle of the rock field. Again, trailing bloody footprints as she goes. And she's gonna kind of look over, almost like cringing, looking at this writhing monstrosity that Barthen's become. You idiot, I told you. Be at peace and burn. And a wisp of fire will fling out towards
Hanwei, get the hell out of there!
That's gonna be frightened to 19.
19 will hit. Weakness, fire, 15.
Ooh.
fire
It's
is there.
okay. So that's going to be 10 fire damage plus
15
15 fire damage.
Hey!
Hanwi, what
It
happens?
mattered that I was wailing on it.
It did.
I thought I was just wasting my time and I was gonna die.
The fire catches it and hits it squared on, and its blood is actually highly flammable. All of the wounds that Verja has been smashing into it, Ozash's axe blows, all of them burst into fire, and the worm will writhe as it's consumed. Hanwi will feel a bit sick, actually, and kind of look away, a little teary, as it just collapses. The innards completely evaporated in foul-smelling smoke.
And as this thing twitching and writhing its last like a beheaded snake on the ground, burning from the inside, so ends the tale of Barthen. With Nocta holding this wall to blunt the worst of the avalanche, the following coming around this corner past the fallen body of this frost giant, your mammoths bordering on panic. Some of your herds are going to be lost, both to the falling stone and to the chaos. You rush the only way that you can, forward into the tunnel. You don't know where it leads. You don't know what it is. The torches held aloft what magic you have, illuminating the inside of a huge, expansive, cavernous space. Nocta nearing the last, breaking away from this. A few near the back of the following, having to drag those that have been hit by chunks in this avalanche, or carry, or pull into the shelter of the cavern. One final mammoth with a snort emerging from this back end of the pass, shaking snow from one hind leg as a near deafening, shattering cacophony erupts. And Rimecrag Pass is no more. Well, the Burning Mammoths are going to have a hard time following that.
Hey, we
Anywhere
covered
but here.
tracks.
Anywhere but here, yes.
Talk about covering our tracks, yeah.
You think that we put up a good enough track misleading there?
This,
Oh, they know where we went.
This is not Lost Mammoth Valley. This is some massive cave system. You can see that this passage within fractures into a few different directions. Several, literally more than 3 or 4 of them, like a handful of them, wide enough for mammoths to pass through unhindered. Several of them smaller, like a small party. Some will need to be squeezed into. Where any of this goes is beyond the scope of this adventure,
Hope they have shrink.
because that is the end of Broken Tusk Moon, and the first book of the Quest for the Frozen Flame. Which means, for now, that's the end of the hook. Perhaps interested enough, as I hope you would be after that, the second season may loom in the future in a new home where we can put out a lot more content, because I actually really like this adventure.
There's so much to go on from just that ending.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
role playing, just so many points.
Session 1 of Chapter 2 would be
Hard.
an incredible opener, to be sure. One that I don't know that I can resist running no matter who wants to watch it. Thank you for joining us for another season of The Hook. And let me clarify, these hooks, they are book 1. They do not mean that there could not be a second or a third chapter in the future. Could absolutely bring any and all of these back. And speaking of, this is not just closing the book here on book 1, but closing it on the Two Perceptions show. Not because we're leaving, not because we're not going to run anymore, but because we too have grown and evolved beyond what one campaign can hold. We need more than this. We're going to have a lot more than this. These links down below my face, I assume, on this overlay right now, they don't say 2Perception anymore. They say UGT show. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. It's UGT show on everything. What is the UGT show? The Undeniably Good Time. That logo over there that's shown up a whole bunch of times. And the new home for our tabletop content. If you would allow us to indulge ourselves for a brief moment, let me reveal something to you real quick.
Kiss. Yes! I'm so glad I got that as in the video for sure, baby.
Kind of a bop, isn't it? The Undeniably Good Time is going to kick off August 7th. That's where you'll find us, twitch.tv/UGT show. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff happening. You see all those new faces? You see how many new faces we got? We got so many faces now. Combine that with this, we have the opportunity to do a ton of shows. August 7th, as is perhaps almost the legal requirement for starting a new channel on Pathfinder, we are going to come back to the roots. You know what we haven't really done? We kind of tried once and it was sort of a clown show. We haven't done like an intro to the system. So August 7th, come join me as I take 5 of these brand new faces through their literal first time playing Pathfinder Second Edition. It's gonna be great. But going from that, we're gonna start with 2 shows every Tuesday at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, and Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, ? You'll find some content there. And not too much further down the road, we're gonna be adding a third. And you know what that third is? You know what I just said about the hook? And things not necessarily being over just because we stopped playing them for a moment? Age of Ashes 6.
Woo! Coming this fall.
Coming late August. We're gonna, I like that. We're gonna wrap up one of the greatest adventures I have ever run. We're going to have so much Pathfinder and TTRPG content, so check all that stuff out. YouTube.com/UGT show is going to have much more shorter form stuff, kind of like the 3 actions videos that we put out of the 2Perception banner. We're going to try and get a lot of shorter, more digestible things too. If you don't want to if you're not feeling a 4-hour campaign episode, understandable. All of the existing campaigns are not gone. You might look at youtube.com/UGT show and go like, the campaigns are gone. They're on youtube.com/UGT VODs. We decided it's probably easiest to just separate them into 2 different things. One for the campaign content over on YouTube and one for the shorter form, digestible little nuggets. We got so much stuff coming. I'm excited to talk about this. Get pumped. We're going to play so much freaking Pathfinder. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. When will I see you again here? Don't know. Who knows what the future holds? Enjoy your weekends, and hopefully we'll see you at the Undeniably Good Time.